All right. Let's see. Hold on. No. There we go. Pin that message. All right. Put this on. Are we live? Let's see. Are we Gucci? Are we good? Hi. Yeah, ever seen The Dark Knight? Who's seen The Dark Knight? Yeah, I've seen The Dark Knight, right? Let me see something. All right, we good. How's the mic? How the mic sound? How's everything sounding? Are we good? How's everybody? It's Friday. I mean, what is it? Saturday? I'm sorry. What is it? Friday? What day are we on? What's Friday? How's everybody's Friday night? Anything special going on? What's the word? Anything happening? I don't know. Anything in particular that needs to be discussed? Huh? Anything? Or is it just another boring Friday with not much to talk about? Yo, nothing going on. Shout out to Carl, 12 a.m. in the UK. Just why you sipping on a little something, just chilling, relaxing. Or you about to hit the club? What's going on? What's happening? Can we hit the like button? Can we hit the like button? Can we share this out? Cause y'all about to be entertained. Y'all about to be entertained. Y'all want to be entertained? I just want to know. Y'all want to be entertained? You know, so like I was saying, if y'all seen The Dark Knight, you know the scene in the hospital where Harvey Dent, he's in the hospital, and Joker shows up, and he sits down, and he's like, "Hi." That's how I'm feeling right now. You know, like I just did something wrong, and now I'm about to address the PC gamers and the Xbox fanboys, the PC cucks and Xbox fanboys. I'm like, "Hi." Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I feel like Heath Ledger right now. Oh my god, I should have just did the whole outfit. I should have just went to like the costume store and just brought the Joker outfit. I should have wore the Joker outfit right now. I'm in my Joker right now. I'm in the Joker right now. Oh Lord, I'm in my bag right now. Y'all thought you had plans. Oh man, I'm in my Joker mode. You thought you had plans. PC gamers had plans. With a little bit of gunpowder, I took your plan and twisted it upside down. It's a sick joke. These little PC gamers and Xbox gamers thinking they could control things. Woo! Oh, it's true what he said, man. Madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. Man. Oh my God. The world is crumbling. Oh, everything's crumbling. Everybody's crumbling. Oh my God. PlayStation is back in full effect. Now they have this little, Achilles heel with the live service, but the main heart of PlayStation, right? The single player storytelling games, the single player titles, really what brought PlayStation back into fighting shape after the PlayStation 3. Oh yeah, PlayStation said, "Fuck these motherfuckers. We're done. We're tired. We're tired." You know what I'm saying? These guys, Sony looked at the numbers and be like, man, these motherfuckers can't even make more money than physical sales. And like physical sales is like bottom dollar. You know it's bad when the combined might of PC gamers, Xbox gamers, and Nintendo gamers, the few games like Horizon, MLB, the show, right? And then Xbox got Destiny, MLB, the show, right? Helldivers, right? And then PC got the whole slate, right? You know it's bad when all of them combined can't make more money than the physical gamers of PlayStation. I'm talking about the gamers who buy physical games. Not the digital gamers and the money transaction, just the guys who buy their games physical. You know those dedicated group of guys that's like, nah, I buy myself physical. Those guys in PlayStation Nation bring in more money than the combined might of PC, Xbox, and Nintendo. This is too goddamn hilarious. And PlayStation's like, man, why are we even dealing with this shit? So how did this end up? How did we get here, right? Well, first, I'm gonna say, hey, welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers, especially those that play on PlayStation. Your only friend these YouTube streets, Puertorock77. Oh man, it's gonna be a hoop deezy today. I don't know if that's a real phrase, but it just popped in my head. It's gonna be hoop deezy. I am telling you now, there is gonna be hurt. There's gonna be people potentially showing up in the chat to troll because they are hurt. The reckoning is here. All this shit talking. See, PC gamers have main character syndrome, and once they were told they were the side bitch and they can't be fucked with no more, now they have a problem. Now they realize, hold up. We're the side bitch this whole time? You didn't have any plans of putting a ring on it? No, dog. You were always the side bitch. And guess what? You weren't a good one. Hit the like button. Are you not entertained? Share this out. Especially share this out to your favorite PC and Xbox content creator. Let them know that we're live. Let them know. Tag the people who will hate this episode the most. This is where we're gonna have the most fun. This is where we're gonna have the most fun. Listen. This town needs a better class of criminal, and I'm gonna give it to them. Oh my God, this is great. This is so great. Let's do it up with let's get this kicked off with the super chat. Hold on, let me refresh my screen because for whatever reason it's not popping in the viewer activity. So we're gonna do it right now in the viewer activity. All right, we got Glassdoor Gamer. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Glassdoor Gamer says, P-Rock, told you Nishino isn't playing these Western strategies. No Astrobot. And Nix's is going to be their handheld optimization team. PC guys mad. Good call, Glassdoor. Go call. Hey, I'm going to say this. Listen, first, before anything, I got to start this off. Right? I already said an apology, but I want to say this apology again. Because I think it's due. I think it's you. I have to say it again, just in case there's those of you who missed it the first time. I apologize for crashing off last year when Helldivers went on Xbox. But you gotta understand that shit still don't make sense, right? I know people are saying it's live service, whatever. Listen, this is my. You know what? I'm gonna go deep into it, but I will say I apologize for crashing out. I absolutely apologize. It caught me off guard. You understand what I'm saying? I was getting pissed off. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? But I apologize. Some of you held the line, and good on you. Absolutely. Listen, you all deserve it. The Glimmer Gamers, you guys are on point. Y'all tried to calm me down, and I wasn't trying to listen. Hey, I lost my way. But I did recover. I forgot what made me recover, but something made me recover. Because I know I did an apology. But it doesn't matter, because I'm re-apologizing again. You guys are awesome. All right, so let's kick this off. All right, but Glassdoor Gamer, shout out to you. We got Gordo P23, with the super chat, $5. He says, PC dude's mad, Xbox dude's mad, Grifter's mad, P-Rock smiling, ear to ear. God bless PlayStation. Oh my God, are you not entertained? I got full entertainment. Like, man, 2026 is a banger. We got, Xbox being sunsetted, PlayStation going back to exclusives, and Nintendo hardware is still dog shit. Oh my god. This is the Trinity right here. Woo! This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Jenna Hayes with the super chat. Thank you so much. Say, hey rookie, and let's go, bub, in Spanish. What the? Oh, you want me to do like a Wolverine thing? I don't know. I don't think it will translate well in Spanish. Hey rookie, and I don't know, how do you say bub in Spanish? I don't think that's a word. Bub in Spanish. I don't think that's a word. Maybe hold up. That's not a word in Spanish. Bub? Bub is not a word. Is bub a word in Spanish? I mean, hey, bub. I mean, we say, oye, cabrón, but cabrón is not bub. We say, right? If you want to get somebody's attention, but like in the way Logan says it, hey, bub, I know Puerto Rican say, mira, oye, cabrón. That's not bub. Am I wrong? I don't think it's bub. Hold on. I don't think the bub's a word. You guys let me know. I don't think bub's a word. That's crazy. But shout out to you, Jenna. Thank you so much. All right. We got Jay up in here. Member, 7 months. Says Steam Machine killed PS games going to PC. You know what? It could be a combination of things. It could be Steam Machine. And I said this, and I know I said this. That I said I would be interested in Steam coming up with a console-like thing, even though it's a PC, but they're trying to push their PC into console gamers' hands to see if they can find it attractive. I always said, how would Sony react with Steam trying to push into the console market, trying to push, pull console gamers out of the console market and into the PC market, if they could provide a device that's console-like and similar for that. I always wondered, and I said I would love to see it. I would love to see Sony's reaction, and I guess this is part of it. I guess, if anything, this is probably the main reason, too. Besides the not so impressive revenue, that's probably another thing. Sony's probably like, these motherfuckers couldn't just stay on PC with a launcher. They just couldn't stay like Totoki. I can see Totoki, right? Because Totoki, I don't really trust him, right? But Nishino, shout out to Glassdoor Gamer, I can see Nishino. It's like, I knew it. We got to do something. And I can see Totoki, because he wants the games on PC, but Totoki's like, this motherfucker game. Like, I can't speak Japanese, and I'm not going to pretend, because that's insulting. If I knew Japanese, I would speak it. But I'm not going to pretend and make up sounds, because that's very insulting, right? So I'm doing the English version. I could see Totoki just take off his glasses, right? And he has like a little wipe cloth, and he's like wiping the lens, and he's like saying in Japanese, but I'm translating. He's like, this motherfucker, this Western ass motherfucker. He couldn't stay his ass on PC. This asshole is really gonna try to release a console-like thing to take console gamers, knowing damn well we're putting games on PC. Now I am forced to pull this shit and to beat his ass, just like we did with Sega, just like we did with Xbox, and how we ran Nintendo out of the console industry. This motherfucker thinks he can fuck with me? Oh, game on. I guarantee Totoki did that. Right? I guarantee. Now he's looking at Game Boy. He's going to be like, you're going to return that goddamn yacht you bought, because we're going to break you. You don't fuck with us in our territory. We had a cool relationship. You were getting games a year later and stuff, and stay in your PC lane. We were not going to make a launcher. There was no launcher. We weren't doing that. But no, you had to intrude with this bullshit Steam machine that no one's going to buy anyway. Oh, you stupid motherfucker. And that's how I envisioned the whole thing came out. That's just my guess. Anyway, I'm just guessing. Right? Hit the like button, people, please. Are you not entertained? Who else we got? We got 313 Gaming. Thank you for the super chat. $5. He says, Third one, yeah, 3-1 third game. It says Sony done snuck PSSR 2 and RE9. When the full release happens, people will recognize the power of the Pro when it has more titles. Oh yeah, so they work real closely with Capcom to ensure the game launches with PSSR 2, and we're gonna PSSR 2.0, Pisser 2.0. And oh man, we're gonna talk about that. But we gotta talk about this. This is great, right? And it all starts with this. Here, it starts right here. Let me. Where am I? Where you at? Where you at? It starts here. It starts here with Nate the Hate. So it really started with Jason Schreier, right? It starts with Jason Schreier. He first mentioned in the podcast, and then people kept whatever. Like if he's guessing, he's like, no, because he just mentioned in the podcast, but he said this is not a non-story thing. Paraphrasing, but he said pretty much this is a story he's going to release. So this is the Bloomberg. And you know when Jason Schreier releases Bloomberg articles, it's going down. It's going down, right? There's one thing when he's opinionated, and there's one thing when he's get ready to release that article. When you see Bloomberg article, Jason Schreier, stand the hell by, because it's been vetted and it's unlocked. But the thing is, two other credible leakers that we all know that are very credible, Sneaker SO and Nate the Hate, they fully back them up and they're all in. They're not like, oh, we think, they're saying it. And this is where this comes in. So a thread that Nate the Hate, 7 hours ago says Pokemon win in waves have now been officially revealed, shown and dated with a surprising 2023 release for Nintendo Switch 2. Did Pokemon Gen 2 live up to your visual expectations? So someone says, hey Nate, is it really true that Sony backing away from releasing their first party games on PC? Because let's be honest, Pokemon will have a shine, but right now that this is the hot topic. And he said they are shifting their PC release strategy. He's telling us, yes, it's happening. This dude's name is Long Piece. Pause. How are you on Twitter calling yourself Long Piece? Yo, come on, bro. What are you doing here? Anyway, he said, can you elaborate at all on what shifting their PC release strategy actually entails? I think your words will hold more water if you actually clarify what you mean. If they aren't planning on releasing first-party single-player titles on PC going forward, say that. So he said it. You'll be seeing fewer single-player games arrive on PC. The decision to shift away from supporting PC was made last year. Naturally, some may still release pending how far along the ports were, but it no longer appears to be a priority for Sony moving forward. And with that, let's celebrate, guys. With that, let's have a good time. Let's get it popping. Who wants to see that again? I mean, he got moves. Alex got moves, boy. How you are not America's Got Talent, bro? Look at that. Shit, right, turn, hip, hands, wave, do the weird thing. Swiggle, wiggle, up in the point, around, down, 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 right, up, down, moonwalk, back, 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 robot, robot, robot. Now, switch, turn, shoulder, up, flex, kung fu. Do the wave. Oh, flip, yeah, hands, flip, turn, right, shoulders, puppet, pointing, point down, point left down, and we rolling back, and we're moonwalking, Susie chop, robo chop, and we're shouldering up, flexing, yoga, mantis, scratch the eyeballs. There you go, boy. What? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's a celebration, bitches. It's a celebration. Everybody's celebrating. Oh, man. This is hilarious. This is so funny. Shout out to James for that one. I hit up James on the DM. I'd be like, yo, James, you know how you do that banana shit with Alex, man? And I gave him the screenshot of Nate. I'd be like, yo, and he made it happen like in 30 seconds. He has like the ultimate Python configuration skills. I mean, listen, James Axe is a more of a PC gamer than all these PC gamers combined, bro. He truly has all these algorithms and stuff ready to go. It is absolutely hilarious. Yo, you can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up, man. Shout out to James. That shit is funny. That shit is funny, right? And speaking of Alex, this is even funnier. This is even funnier. Let's just show this. Shout out to Oliver Dark. Let me put this up there. Yo, hit the hit the like button, 'cause this is you're gonna get entertained. Or you're not entertained. You're gonna be entertained. Shout out. He says, check this out. The Banana Man. He says, you will be seeing PlayStation Temple titles go day and date onto Steam PC and competing platforms. Day and date, man. I didn't even catch that. I maybe read this too fast, but I didn't catch that. Day and date onto CPC and competing platforms. Yo, this dude's on some FDA non-approved. He's using non FDA approved drugs, cause that shit is bonkers, bro. Day and day don't want on Xbox and Nintendo. This dude is Alex. You are so far off on what you think PlayStation is and what it does and the position it is in industry. You are so not even close, bro. You ever played the game hot, cold? You remember that game? Like cold, 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 warm, warmer, warmer. Y'all remember that game? Let me see. I don't know how far behind the chat is, but y'all remember that game, right? All right. So with Alex, right, when you play that game, you have to tell him Arctic, 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 deeper into the Arctic, deeper into the Arctic. You're at the center of the Arctic now. Now you're in the middle. You're in the middle of the Arctic. Now you're stuck in the Arctic. You don't know where to go, do you? You're just in the Arctic, dog. You're just gonna stay there perpetually. Like, bro, like that is wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me. But all right, but let's continue. You will be seeing PlayStation Temple titles go day and date on Steam, PC, and competing platforms. You will see PlayStation shut down more studios and push live service. Well, this I agree. There could be potentially more shutdown studios. I think we talked about it on the podcast, right? If you want 60 frames don't like podcast, right? Oh, not this one. 60 frames don't like podcast. You would have saw that we talked about, who's next, right? We talked about potentially Haven Studios. That's on the ticker, on the chopping block. Media Molecule could be on the chopping block. Even Sony Ben. Apparently, they are actively working on a project now. But if that project doesn't come to fruition and release, they could go next. So at a minimum, Haven and Media Molecule. All right. So he's right there, right? The game industry wants more money, and no matter how much you support the devs, it's never enough. So for third party, I agree. But the part you don't understand, Banana Man, that we keep telling you, PlayStation's primary revenue is the platform. And the bulk of that revenue is from third party 30%, is being the storefront. And Sony's not going to jeopardize the 56% for the less than 2%. It doesn't make sense. They're not going to strategize around the less than 2%. And that less than 2% is the multi-platform strategy. The multi-platform strategy is under 2% revenue. The bulk of PlayStation's revenues, I think it's like 56%, is being the storefront, where all the games, the 30%, the money transactions, all of that stuff. It isn't first party on other platform sales. To think that Sony's going to strategize a whole, like reshape the entire business for the 2% is absolutely crazy, right? So you got this, and this was a couple of days ago, and now we got this. Betrayed. I'm not even showing the screen. Hold on. Betrayed. Alex has been betrayed. You have been betrayed, Alex. He's been betrayed. Alex been betrayed. Oh, man. The betrayal. How can you do this to me, Sony? I'm the customer. We're the main character. We're PC Master Race. The sun shines in PC land. I'm telling you, PC gamers like Alex and all these cats, they actually thought they were going to get the ring. You know, it's the oldest story. The side chick messes with the married man, and they absolutely believe that the married man is going to leave their wife and give them the ring. My God. My God, my God, my God. Like you guys, it's just so hilarious. Shout out to Shawn K the King. He says, best podcast in the world. Requiem is awesome. Xbox Dookie. Yo, shout out to you. I was catching your stream, so I wasn't able to put in the chat. But, you know, check out Shawn K. He's doing his Resident Evil 9 streams, and also check out Chill Will as well. Oh, but thank you so much, brother. Thank you for the super chat, right? But let's get back to the betrayal. The betrayal. How? How can you do this to us? How can you do this to us? We are PC Master Race. We are the customers. Yo, let's check this out. Let's check this out. PlayStation pulling back from sea. Let's hear what Mr. Banana Man has to say.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned about the gaming industry after covering it for the past 6 years.
Well, so let's stop right there. You're not learning much. You're not learning much. Alex, let's be real, Alex. Alex, listen, bro. You're not learning much. You're doing the same stupid shit that Xbox fanboys are doing. All right, Alex, listen. This is what's that shit called when you have like a heart to heart with people? You know, what's that shit called when it's time to tell them the truth about themselves, like drug addiction, stuff like that? It starts with an R. I forgot the word. It's not reckoning. Intervention. I know I said it started with an R. No, it starts with, there you go. This is an intervention, brother. Brother, we try to tell you Microsoft's going third party. You rejected it. You really thought it was just Activision Blizzard. You know, Activision Blizzard King, you know, Call of Duty games. Then we try to tell you Xbox hardware is dead. Then you try to pretend you don't know what we're talking about. Well, Xbox hardware is dead. And now they got a new CEO. You know that shit's being sunsetted, brother. I'm gonna tell you this. And now you're saying you learned stuff, brother. Not when it comes to console. Come on, bro. Stop it. Come on. But let's see what you got to say today. Let's see what you got.
It's this. Saying the words never ever is a guaranteed recipe for disaster because things can change on you at the drop of a dime. Always keep your options open because you never know what's coming around the bend. And if you want a perfect example of that, well, take a look at this. Xbox putting their games onto PlayStation. Majority of them even in fact going day and date. Xbox also
to which you didn't believe was happening. Let's all be honest. Can we all be honest? Don't act like you were one of them dudes. You weren't, brother. You know what I'm saying? Carl G thought the weed was kicking in when he was moving. He's probably looking like, oh shit, what the hell is this? Come on, brother. You weren't part of the crew. Don't act like you presenting. You didn't know. We told you. Shout out to Craig Harris. He says, Herman Hulk out here moonwalking on ponies. Nah, that dude needs to be fired, bro. Craig, that dude needs to get fired. Get that motherfucker out of here. I am Henry with the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, hit the like button, folks. I am still working, but in the waiting room if you need someone to bounce ideas off of. I appreciate it, right? But I think I'm going to be in my bag. The Joker works alone. It's going to be ugly up in here. And Craig, don't you be defending Herman Hulk. Calling him Herman Hulk. That dude still needs a trip to North Korea. Send him to Kim Jong-un. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. He needs a trip to North Korea. He needs a quick trip to North Korea. All right? Okay. Let's go, Alex.
Focusing on putting their games onto PC and even improving the PC app, working with Asus to create a handheld model as well. Nintendo finally showing their true colors and being exactly what we've all called them out to be before. Insanely greedy corpos that will do nothing more than try to squeeze every red cent out of your pocket. Hell, even locking a button on your controller on the Switch 2 behind a credit card prompt. And finally, PlayStation. For so many years since the PlayStation 4 era, we've heard that exact same term of never ever being thrown back in the faces of so many people. Things like Never ever will God of War ever be on PC. Never ever will Spider-Man be on PC. And it turns out that the never ever is going to strike again, because clearly PlayStation has had other ideas about what they're going to be doing with their multi-platform strategy. And this could be a bigger telltale sign of not only PlayStation trying to double down and screw actual consumers and customers, but also with...
Who are they screwing? Nobody. Sorry. The only people that feel screwed is the people that don't buy PlayStation. We're fine. The people that buy PlayStation expect PlayStation to prioritize their platform. We're good. PC is not a PlayStation platform, so it's your fault for ever relying on PlayStation to make your PC game. Bro, you got Magic Puss and Fuda, Escape from Fuda Dungeon. You're okay. All right? PC is not a PlayStation platform. It never was. Never was. So if you, over the last 2, 3, 4 years, advise people, oh, don't get a PlayStation, get a PC, we get the games anywhere, that's your fault. And you did piss poor decision advising people on shit you shouldn't be advising of. That's your fault. That's your lack of clarity. You know, PC is not a PlayStation platform. And people who are PlayStation customers buy PlayStation. And that's the customers that Sony has to worry about. What the hell they're going to worry about you for? You're not on the PlayStation. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Come on, bro. Stop this.
The fact that in reality, they may be more terrified of the future than they'd like to believe.
They may be more
You
terrified.
see, the entire PC initiative started off with one person in particular. It wasn't Herman Holst. It wasn't Hiroki Totoki. In fact, it was the one CEO
Shawn Leaden.
that fanboys love the most, Shawn Leaden. He was...
Now, I hope you tell the whole truth, though, and explain why he did it. Let's see. When I press play, you add that bit. I want to see if you add that bit. If you don't put in this video, if I press play and you don't say the reason why Shawn Leaden did it, because Shawn Leaden said he did it to entice PC gamers who never played PlayStation games, and once they play these, they'd be like, wait a minute, this is what PlayStation has? I'm going to get me a PlayStation. That was his strategy. We're going to see if you mention that or if you completely avoid it. If you avoid it, then you're completely, coming up with a whole new narrative, pretty much being false narrative and lying. And that's just par for the course, whatever. Right? That's just par for the course. Let me see who we got here. We got Clean Frame with the $5 super chat. Says Hardy is going off on everyone in Twitter because of this. Pull up his tweets and you'll see all the entertainment. Stay up, baby. Oh, I know. Oh, I have a tweet on that too. My man is fuming. And the reason why he's fuming is because he was one of the biggest of how Hosley talking shit. And now that the rug got pulled under him, right, and he fell on his face, now he's doing the proverbial, oh, I'm going to take my toys and leave the playground. Now he doesn't want to play no more. But yeah, he was a big champion on the whole slate. And now that shit threw back his face. Oh, the games ain't good anyway. I got the tweets. I'll show it. And we got Steven. Thank you for the super chat. Steven says Sony wanted to dip their toes into PC water and found out it's sewage over there. You know, and that's the main thing we all got to learn. That's the one thing we got to learn, right? I'll be honest. Sony did a good job of presenting this as a strategy that we thought was going to be a long-term thing. They did an exceptional job because we all thought that. We all thought this was the way forward. When in reality, Sony was just testing the waters, which is smart. I mean, I would have not tested the waters anyway, but if you're going to do it, test the waters out, right? They probably had, a 5-year thing because they started this in 2020. So they probably said, hey, let's do this and let's observe how this goes for the next 5 years. And then we make a decision. Guess what? 2025 came and they're like, nope, this is not hitting the metrics that we want. There's really no point, right? Because the truth is, right, Sony was never going to replace their current business model with trying to be a full-blown third-party provider and primarily make money off of their own games. That's not possible because number one, they don't make enough games per year to do that. That's number one. Number two, even if they doubled the output per year and made all games they want multiplats, it will still pale in comparison to the vast amount of money they make off a third party. Sony's, again, and I keep saying this all the time, the primary business of PlayStation is the storefront. It's about making money off other people's work. When you think about it, it's the best business plan ever. You're making 30% off of products you have no involvement in. You don't do anything other than let the developer, the publisher, put the game on your platform so people can play it. That's it. It costs $0. Listen, the plan is so good. That business model is so good if you're successful at it, that even games that fail is still not a failure for Sony. Like Anthem. We all know Anthem was an overall flop. I think it ended up selling 5 million, 6 million, whatever is sold. It wasn't a flop for Sony. Sony got 30%. And they invested nothing. So all the money lost, that was on EA. EA lost all that money because they put in the investment to get the game created and they had a plan to monetize it. It failed. EA lost that money. Sony gets 30% off of failed games. Think of all the third-party games that failed, whether single player or live service. Whatever Sony was able to gobble 30%, that's free money. It is not failure to them. There is no such thing as a game, a failure game, a third-party game that fails for Sony. They had no involvement. The only time maybe a third-party game would be considered a failure for Sony if Sony put in money into it, whether it's marketing or something. That would be a failure. Like Concord is their game, so that's not third-party. Concord is their game, so that is a failure, and that did impact. That is their game. But X-Defiant, after a year, it flopped. Sony didn't lose nothing out of that. They got their 30% from whatever they got. You can't lose. When you put no money into any project and that project gives you 30%, you can't fail under that model. It's not your problem. The only problem you face is the projects you put money into and it fails. That's your problem. Like Concord, that's their problem. Or if you pay for marketing and stuff like that, that's your problem. And depending how much money you put into marketing, because you could probably put in money into marketing and still end up successful even if the game failure. That's why Sony makes so much money. And here's the crazy part. Let's look at all the biggest players that have the games that make so much money. Fortnite, one of the biggest games in the world. Epic makes nowhere near the money PlayStation does. Nowhere near. EA has multiple top-selling games all year, every year. Madden, the FIFA or now Football Club, right? And now they got college football. Right? And whatchamacallit, what's that the live service game based off of Titanfall? I forgot the name, but that game is very popular, makes a lot of money. So EA has a lot of popular games that's played, top-selling games. They at least have 3 top-selling games every year. FIFA, Madden, and in America, college football. Apex, thank you. So they're making shit tons of money. They're live service through and through, and now they got Battlefield on top of that. And yet they still don't make more money than Sony on a year-to-year basis. It's because there are literally thousands of games that are made. And when those thousands of games are on your platform and you get a 30% cut out of all of them, and if those games are monetized with money transactions and you get a 30% cut out of that too, that is billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. That is insane. Your first party output can never match that. And people don't understand. It's absolutely insane. People don't understand that. Right? Let me see what we got here. We got Tony the Pony. Let's react to Doc Dark's video next. Xbox is dead. Oh shit. And all right. And we got East. East says Hard 8 was wrong. He said Canon 2 and Marvel games are Sony games still coming to PC. Sony don't own those. They have a chance to buy Marvel and refuse. Man, listen, dog. Listen, he's gonna go down with the ship, right? And let him. If I was him, I'd be like, all right, fuck it. If he was a smart man, he would just say, fuck it. Sony got back their common sense. They're trying to push exclusives. That's how it's always been. And then just move on. But him double downing, listen, don't double down on a bad strategy. You know, that's insanity. We got Paul, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said PC dudes are in denial, just like Xbox dudes were in 2024. They're going through the same trauma, but Xbox dudes know leaks from these insiders are true. Yeah, and they're holding off. They're trying to hold the line. Listen, let that shit go, right? But let's go back to the video. Let me go back to the video. Again, he better mention, you know, because he did say Shawn Leaden was the one that did it, but he better mention what Shawn Leaden's strategy was. It was not like to just be straight up third-party publisher for PC. He wanted PC games on to the PlayStation platform. Let's see if Alex mentions that part.
Was one who specifically designed PlayStation porting their games to PC a year after release, and in my opinion, they were incredibly successful until PlayStation decided to bungle everything up, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. In fact, here's Shawn Leaden himself talking about what he did with PlayStation and why he decided to put their games onto PC as well. And here's that excerpt from the Kiwi Talks podcast with Reese Riley.
The reason why I thought we should go onto PC, and again, after a year, once a game's in the market.
Initial release.
Because once a game's in the market for a year, you can look at the decay rate.
Yeah.
It's not going to cannibalize sales. It's already sold to your console market that wants it. PC was not to make money, not to really generate FOMO so much as it was, I just want to introduce to people who are not in the PlayStation camp, these are the things we're doing. Check it out. It could be cool. My view was that the PC market wasn't going to come to PlayStation on its own. And for us to tell them the story of what our games are, we have to meet them where they are. And if you're on your PC, I will meet you where you are. Not on day one, on day 366.
Now, isn't that a really strange...
Oh, but I think he cut the conversation up, right? Because whatchamacallit, he did the thing that he did the thing that I was saying. Because Shawn Leaden, and this was specifically explained with Jay Barry and Persona, because they were the first ones to interview Shawn Leaden. Shout out to them when we had, What's Up PlayStation. I missed that podcast. But he specifically said, meet them what they are. So that way they could be introduced to these titles. And now that they see these titles and they see the games that they missed out on, now they recognize the future titles PlayStation comes, now they'll go to PlayStation. Now he's not saying that they're going to leave PC, but they'll get a PlayStation because they're not going to want to keep waiting a year, 2 years, whatever for these games, especially if they're great. And that's how he explained it. Right? The problem with you, Alex, by you cutting this out, you actually doing yourself a disservice. Because what you could have done, if you were honest and got the full information, you probably could have been like, you know what? If this was the plan, was to put games on PC, because the PC games wasn't naturally going to PlayStation, many of them weren't familiar with the titles, and put PlayStation games, and now these PC gamers are familiar with the games, and PlayStation expects PC gamers to go from, oh, snap, Horizon Zero Dawn is really good. And then when the sequel's about to come out, they'd be like, man, the sequel's about to come out? Oh, I'm going to give me your PlayStation so I can play the sequel. And that's what Sony expected. That's what Shawn Leaden planned. But the fact that didn't happen, because you guys said, no, I couldn't wait. Do you not think that maybe that did not meet Sony's metric? That's not what they really wanted, at least as far as their single player games. And now that they're seeing you guys are true to your word that, oh no, we'll wait 1 year, 2 years, whatever. And places like, well, screw it then. You're not meeting what actual intent. Maybe you could have talked about that, but we'll see what you got to say. Because I don't think you're going to say that.
Strange way of saying things.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. I got to close this.
Wonder who else was saying those exact same things recently as well when talking about their brand specifically, about meeting people where they are, because they know that those people are not going to simply move to PlayStation or any other.
But you're being dishonest, Alex. Shawn Leaden had a full plan and you cut his plan. See, Phil Spencer never said meet where they are with the intent to bring them onto console. He never did that. But Shawn Leaden did. But you're misrepresenting what Shawn Leaden's plan was, which he was clear on it. It was to bring PC gamers to PlayStation, to entice them, to get them to know the products, but you cut that part out. So if you cut out his strategy, it's all wrong. The whole conversation is moot. You completely destroyed the whole a proper conversation that could have been had. Because if you would have been fully honest, then you could be like, you know what? Maybe all the way through for the last 5 years, Sony's plan has always been to try to entice PC gamers and not just simply make money off PC gamers. But now, at least on your channel, in your community, you can have that convo because once again, you pretty much are dishonest. You pretty much feeding your audience bullshit information. So this is why I can easily smoke PC gamers, Xbox gamers, because if you're coming at me learning from Alex or learning from his Xbox podcast, you don't have a chance to fuck with me. You don't have a chance to debate me because you're bringing in false information or half-ass information. And then when I unleash full out truth, y'all look stupid. You can't come at me with half-ass bullshit. And this is why we always see half-ass bullshit on Twitter, because it's half-ass lying bullshit. Say the whole story, Alex, with Shawn Leaden. The whole story. It's insane that we're just skipping out the actual overall project that he did. And we know he did it because he talked about it on What's Up PlayStation. He actually revealed the whole truth about the whole PC plan. And it was his idea that was first announced on What's Up PlayStation. Not on Alex Stream, not on IGN, nowhere. It was What's Up PlayStation. He said it. That was his plan. And that was the first time we heard of it in the outlet, in the industry. After he left PlayStation, Persona and J Bar reached out to him and they showed him a picture of when they were hanging out at if y'all remember not the PlayStation Showcase, but when they used to do that show event at the end of the year. I forgot what it's called. Oh my God, it's not the top of the head. They did it like maybe 2 or 3 to PSX. So they met him, they took pictures, whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, I remember you guys. Yeah, sure, I'll go on your show." And you know, Jay Barry and Persona, they were talking as if this was Jim Ryan's plan. And Shawn Leaden correctly is like, no, that's my plan. And then he explained the whole thing. So we have the whole information, Alex. Literally, we saw the whole story. He broke it down for the first time publicly, what the plan was. But you have asked it, and you're trying to align it to Xbox. So now you just spread bullshit. You're spreading bullshit. Unbelievable. Absolute bullshit.
Other type of console. It's almost striking how those words are in fact incredibly similar.
No, they're not similar. You're just lying about it. You know, altering actual factual information. That's what you're doing. So no, there is no similarity at all. Okay. Shout out to Steven. He has it wrong. Make the games come to you. Make the gamers come to you. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Maxwell, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Says the proof will be in October. If October comes and Ghost of Tsushima is not announced for PC, that's his order. But that's it. It's over. Now, what they got to do is to crack down on budgets. No, the proof is no. So Nathan Hay did say that stuff that was already in play would be, if it's already in play, there's potential it's just going to roll out that way. But the future iterations is done. Maxwell, thank you for the super chat. He says, I say to crack down on budgets because there's definitely some money laundering going on. There's no way Spider-Man 1 and 2 are almost the same game, but 2 costs twice to make. There's some scheming going on. I mean, I will say this. Extreme said it best. It's not our money. We just expect Sony to release the best, and whatever they got to do to release the AAA games we want, then that's what they got to do. As far as controlling their budget, it's not our money. It's not our worry. But, you know, as long as they make the games we want, we will buy it. And those games will be successful. AK DualSense. He said, Peach. Thank you for the super chat. And Glassdoor Gamer says, Destin's voice was cracking in the vid I posted. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's see right here.
But you see, even though Shawn Leaden was one of the initial people talking about PC ports moving forward, it turns out the plan was in fact not going to change at any moment in time. Because back in February of 2024, VGC posted this: Sony wants to improve PlayStation profit margins with more aggressive PC release strategy. Hiroki Totoki says the company has to proactively work on making more games multi-platform. According to the article back in 2024, Totoki said this: in the past, we wanted to popularize consoles, and a first-party title's main purpose was to make the console popular. This is true, but there's a synergy to it. If you have strong first-party content, not only on our console, but also other platforms like computers, a first-party game can be grown with multi-platform, and that can help operating profit to improve. So that's another one we want to proactively work on.
I'll give him that, because I said Totoki was all about that. But remember, Totoki just jumped on board, and I said that was a stupid mistake, because the business is the storefront. And I'm granted, Totoki's the CEO of Sony, but man, this is really a simple thing. Sony doesn't make that many games to override their primary revenue. I personally think Totoki jumped the gun. He thought he knew the business of PlayStation, and he thought he knew better than everyone in the room. I know I've been in that. You ever have people in charge over you, and they think they know the business when they never dealt with the operation or the field that you're dealing with? They just come in having all these assumptions, and they are dead set saying, "Oh, this is the way," and then the operation flows, and shit's not working out, and they're starting to realize, wait a minute. I didn't anticipate this. Yeah, buddy. Welcome to PlayStation. You're starting to realize how things really work. You're starting to realize as time goes on, quarter after quarter, you're seeing all these reports where the money really comes from. And when you do the math and analysis, you realize you'll never make the money you think you can make on PlayStation first party and PC, Xbox, right? Because the primary engineering, the primary revenue stream, and the primary profit margin of PlayStation has always been the amount of third party that gets absorbed into the ecosystem, right? It's all about getting people to play all these third party games on your console, because that's the ultimate profit margin, because you're getting people to buy games that you didn't make, that you didn't spend not a single penny on. You're getting people to buy money transactions that you didn't make. You can't get more profit than that. You're making 30% off of stuff you had nothing involved. You had nothing to do with it. It's free money. That is the ultimate profit generating engine. Being able to make money and you don't have to do a damn thing to get it. There's no way your first party guys could ever match that. They can't match getting free money. And as the console expansion gets more and more and more and more and more people are buying more games, more products and more money transactions. See, the problem is Totoki thought of all this stuff in the early gen, and once he's seen PlayStation 5 blow up and he's really seen where the money's come from, he probably learned, like, wait a minute. Now I see where the money truly is. It's not the first party. It never was the first party. The first party was always, the advertisement. How do you convince people to play Call of Duty on PlayStation, not on Xbox? You tell them, I got Spider-Man. And what does Xbox say? They got Phantom Dust with original assets. That's how you do it. If you're going to play Call of Duty, you're going to play Call of Duty on a console with the God of Wars, The Last of Us and all this stuff. You're not going to do it on the console with Crackdown 3. You're not going to do it there. You're not going to do it on the console with Sea of Thieves where the Kraken is lacking. That's not where you're going to do it. If you're going to play all these big popular games, you're going to associate it with the also big games that are out there. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully, Totoki may have realized that. It took him probably a year and a half, but in 2025, apparently, he's like, wait a minute. All right, I get it. He's like, I get it. We're shutting this down because I see the truth. I'm just guessing. Because he did talk like that. He did talk like that. I even put it, we had the business update. the one with Herman Hulks, you know, sustainable profits. When the guy asked the question, Totoki passed that he directed the studio to go from, you know, I forgot, now I'm paraphrasing because it's been so long, like, you know, products to sell consoles to now just a profit generating division. And I was telling you guys, so Alex ain't wrong by posting that. That is a little bit of truth. Totoki was like that dude, but I think he learned. It just seems like, because it's the only way they would shut down PC, because they need his permission. They're not going to shut down PC and Totoki's like unaware that all this is happening. So if Totoki's part of this and he agreed to tone back the PC strategy, is because he saw, he got data since he's making this was 2024. Since then, all of 2024 and 2025, he sees the light.
So here we see a couple of things. Shawn Leaden starting off the PC project, and also Totoki.
To which you completely cut out why he started a PC project. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes a half truth is worse than a lie.
Talking about putting their single player games multi-platform. And that strategy, in my opinion, has been actually quite effective.
Your opinion sucks, so no one cares. No one cares about your opinion, right? You know, there is no such thing as an opinion on something being effective. It either is effective or it's not. Did the strategy was effective? It was probably, in your opinion, you probably saw it as effective because it was just a shit talking point, right? But we try to tell you, like, hold on, $2 billion over the course of 5 years. During the same time frame, Sony made $136 billion. That don't sound like a successful metric. It don't sound like, you know, when the sales of multi-platform games that Sony pushed out doesn't even bring in the revenue compared to physical game sales. Just physical game sales, something don't sound right. And we've been saying that, but hey, we're the fanboys. We're the absolute fanboys in this story. I'm just saying.
I'm someone who is never going to buy a PlayStation console or any.
So we don't care. We don't care. All right? We don't care. Think about it this way, Alex. Your relationship with PlayStation in any way, form is just buying the game. And that's it. One game. One game at a time. While PlayStation gamers, they buy the console. They subscribe to PlayStation. They also buy the game. And they buy the third party. You only buy PlayStation first party. That's it. You don't do anything else. You're not going to buy the third party, the controller. You don't do really none of that. The only money they see from you is just the game. And that's not enough. Because, again, their business is not primarily first party game sales. Their business is a storefront. And you are not part of the storefront. And if you're not part of the storefront, then you're not their customer. Again, if you were honest about Shawn Leaden's full story, he tried to entice you to be like, you know what? I'm going to buy a PlayStation. And just like you said, you're not going to buy one. And now maybe you could be like, oh, now it's starting to make sense. Now I see why Sony's putting the plug. Because they never really intended in the full scope of the thing to replace their business model. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Any other console, by that matter. I personally have my Steam Deck. That's where I play the majority of my games. I have my PC. That's where I play all my games. And basically, I have no need for any console in particular.
So you're not a PlayStation customer. They moved on from you. They're not catering to you. And that's it. If you're really upset with this, then maybe it's your PCs that's the problem. Maybe it's your PC that's the problem. Maybe, just maybe, your PC is the problem. Because why would you be upset over PlayStation games? PC was never really a PlayStation. It's never, and it still is not, a PlayStation product. It doesn't belong to PlayStation. It doesn't belong to PlayStation. It was always a side chick. Let me see. Let me do some super chats right here. Let me do some super chats right here. What we got? Where we got? We got Stanley. Thank you for the super chat. It says Totoki is not the CEO anymore. It's Kei Tanaka. No. Now, I don't want to be abrasive. You have it wrong. A lot of people got this wrong. Okay. And I'll be honest, it's Sony's fault. Because their naming convention is confusing. Confusing as hell. Totoki is the CEO of overall Sony. And that is called Sony Business Group Corporation. I mean, Sony Group Corporation, not Business Group. Sony Group Corporation. That is Sony. Sony Group Corporation. Right? Kenji Tanaka became CEO of Sony Corporation. and Sony Corporation falls under Sony Group Corporation. So that's one level below. So pretty much, Sony Corporation is side by side with SIE, Sony Pictures, and all them. So who is Sony Group Corporation? Well, Sony Group Corporation, right, is the physical manufacturing arm, or they deal with all the audio, visual stuff like that. So the TVs, the radios, the speakers, all that stuff. He's also now the CEO of Sony Business Group, Sony Business, Sony Group Corporation. And what that is the financial side. So Kenji Tanaka has total control, both financially and the whole manufacturing of TVs, radios, speakers, all the electronic stuff and all that stuff. All of that is under him in every way possible. Okay? But Totoki is still the overall CEO. Tanaka reports to Totoki. Now, I did say Electronics Entertainment. That does not include PlayStation. PlayStation is a totally separate division under Sony Business Group. Under Sony Group Corporation, SIE. And they report directly to Toki. So there's a lot of confusion. People thought, believe me, I thought too. When I saw CEO of Sony Corp, I'm like, oh shit. And then I learned Sony Corp is under Sony Group Corp. I can't tell you. You can't make this up. It is confusing, but that's just how it is. Okay. Long story short, Tanaka reports to Totoki, and the CEO Nishimi. He reports to Totoki. That's the simplest way I could put it, brother. It is confusing. Glassdoor Gamer says, calling it. PlayStation is going after Nintendo next. I expect them to use AA partnerships for live service and mobile because it's less risk. I would love them to just get rid of the live service plan, but hey, we'll see how that's going. Hey, hit the like button. Are you guys not entertained? Let's continue. Let's continue with the betrayal of PlayStation. Let's hear the betrayal.
Although I have my PlayStation 2 on my desk, I still emulate the majority of my stuff right here. And I think that tactic has in fact worked, because clearly I was never going to be someone to
work for who though? I mean, you like it, sure. That doesn't mean the plan worked. What was the business strategy behind it? And that's where I think you're failing at.
Buy that ecosystem, to invest money into it. But you know what? If I wanted to play a game, I had the opportunity to do so. And clearly Sony saw the exact same thing. Until yesterday.
No, until last year, actually, because this decision was made last year.
Because it turns out things may be going a little bit awry for PlayStation games on PC. Because according to Insider Gaming, they say this: Sony could be, quote, backing away from releasing single-player titles on PC. Wait a second, hold on. Do you hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of thousands of PlayStation fanboys clicking their hooves together in unison, excited about the fact...
Not just that, Alex. We out here partying right along with you. Let's go. Ooh, right, left, shoulder, turn, step, go, up, hands, wave, turn around, do the electric boogie, point in the air, point to the ground, and then we're gonna turn it around again, and robot, yeah, go, ooh, shoulder twist, and then we're gonna glide, and then we're gonna do the praying mantis, and then we're gonna do the sissy hands, yeah, scratch the eyeballs, woo! Fire, Alex, fire! All right, where My man did the sissy hands. He did the praying mantis, and then the sissy hands. Scratch your eyeball. My man did the live on. How you? My man. I don't know. Have y'all seen that TikTok thing? I know it's Spanish, but it's dame un grr, un qué, un grr, un qué, un tum. My man said dame un grr, un qué, un grr. My man did. My man did. Oh, oh my God. Are you not entertained? Oh my God. Yo, you can't make this up. Yo, you can't make this up. He can't. My man said that one girl. Okay, he did the point. He went Shaolin Kung Fu. Yo, my man thought he was about to get into a match of Mortal Kombat. Oh man. Yo, you can't make this up, bro. I can't with this dude. Yo, this shit is too funny, bro. Oh man, who we got here? We got the Super Hemi, 44 months, man. Thank you for rocking out. He goes, yo, my guy, congrats on retirement. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, man. We're having a great day. We're having a great Friday. Yo, I don't know if we're going to be able to get up to the Pisser 2.0 conversation because this is just too funny. This is just too funny what's happening here. Oh, man, here we go. Let's continue.
That less people get to play their video games unless they buy the same fucking box. It's almost...
Gee, never heard of that concept before. Buying a box to play the game because the box provides the unique culture and stuff like that. Gee. Never heard that before. Never heard that before. Funny part is, he said he had a PlayStation 2 on his desk. He just said that. The ultimate exclusive machine. And he has no problem with it. Unbelievable.
Almost like they are, in fact, in a cult. And clearly, we're going to expose that today.
You think and it's going to expose the cult because your game's not coming onto my aluminum box. Wah.
Bro, just go play your magic puss.
Be happening with PlayStation is we're going to be seeing less single-player first-party titles being put out, period, not just on PC as well. My guess is going to be that singular one tentpole title a year, and then PlayStation moving on to pushing every other major live service title across every other single platform. But the thing is, there's more to this story, especially with how PlayStation themselves were handling the PC market and not understanding what PC gamers in fact actually want.
We don't care. How about that? How about we have the real conversation? We don't care what you want. And clearly Sony doesn't care what you want either. Maybe for live service, but I don't think they're good at live service anyway. Period, right? But as far as single player games go, I don't want them to care what you want. Why do I care? Right? Why would I want or advocate at any point in this discussion, at any point, do I want Sony to consider what PC gamers want out of their games when it comes to PC platform? From a PlayStation. Third party is one thing from PlayStation. We're the ones that buy their console. They cater to us. They are to worry about what we want. What we want out of their games. Not you. You're not a PlayStation gamer. No one gives a shit. You're on PC. Deal with PC. That's your problem. You chose the platform. Deal with it. Right? But why does PlayStation need to cater to you? You didn't buy their platform. You didn't invest in totality to their ecosystem. And this is what I always say, right? Trying to gauge what PC gamers want, fuck them. And if you're a PC gamer, I don't mean no disrespect to you, but I think you're here because a lot of you PC gamers are here. You understand you want PlayStation to be its own identity. And that's it. PlayStation can't have its own identity if they have to worry about a totally different platform. PC is a completely different platform. It is not a PlayStation product. No one cares what you want. Talk to third party. Talk to Gabe Newell and Valve. Tell them what you want. Tell third party what you want. It is what it is. I'm not going to hold you to advocate and tell EA, tell Ubisoft, tell Capcom, tell whoever what you want. It is what it is. But PlayStation and Nintendo, get the hell out of here. No one cares what you want. You're not part of the PlayStation ecosystem. You're on PC. Stay there. No one cares what you got to say. No one cares about your input on the games that we want. And I'll be honest, this is another reason why I don't like the live service strategy. Because with the live service strategy, you kind of have to take input from the Xbox or PC, wherever that game's going to go, which I think is full of shit. Because the way I see it, PlayStation, like let's say if PlayStation makes a game and they know they can't really be successful with that game with just PlayStation fans alone for whatever reason, then don't make it. Don't make it at all. Why are you including people outside your ecosystem, outside your platforms? I don't want their 2 cents. Nobody wants their 2 cents. No one cares. And finally, at least from the single player side, it seems like that. Now, I will say this. You'll probably see partnerships that will still be on PC. You know, like, because you got, especially Sony's really deep into curating and getting great Chinese developer talent, and China's primarily PC. So those developers want their games on PC. So I could still see those games. You know, like, for example, The Lost Soul Size and Phantom Blades or whatever. I could still see those going to PC because those developers want their games on PC. Right? So those relationships will probably still remain intact. I don't think Sony's going to be like, if, you know, you can see a great game from a Chinese developer or third-party developer, and they're willing to put it on PlayStation and not on any other console. But if they still want it on PC, I could see Sony still be like, all right, we'll still do it. You know, I could still see that relationship. But their own core first-party titles, you know, whatever plan they have remaining, because, you know, they'll do. But after that, it's on the chopping block.
And I feel the reason why this may be happening is going to be threefold specifically. And when you hear those reasons, this may not be out of necessity, but out of fear. According to Insider Gaming's article, it says this. During the latest episode of the Triple Click podcast via Reset Era, Jason Schreier discussed PlayStation seemingly considering stopping its single-player games from coming to PC. Schreier stated that he thinks the strategy for them is live service games are coming to PC, while he's getting the sense that they are backing away from putting their exclusive console stuff, like traditional single-player games, onto PC. Schreier mentioned that it wouldn't be surprising if Marvel's Wolverine never comes to PC. Even if it eventually does, players would likely understand that a PlayStation is necessary to play the game, at least for the indefinite future. He also expressed uncertainty about how successful the PC releases have been. All right, let's do a quick rundown about this entire thing right now. The potentiality of PlayStation saying, you know what, we're going to not put our games onto PC is actually something that really could, in fact, happen. Remember, never ever should never be said, because clearly people were saying never ever of any game going to PC. And if you look at the Steam page right now of PlayStation Publishing, well, things look a little bit different than before. So I could clearly see PlayStation being incredibly petty and saying, you know what, we're just going to put live service games on there, and we're going to keep our single-player tentpole cinematic titles away from those PC heathens in the first place, to be, of course, as petty as possible.
You think Sony's doing this out of pettiness? Why would they be petty? That doesn't even make sense. According to you, it's successful. So why would PlayStation corporate guys be petty over what you said, in your opinion, is a successful venture? That doesn't even make sense. So PlayStation's petty over what? You think they're council warring with us? You think Herman Holtz is in a fight with us? Hell, they're the least talking company that barely talks to anybody. You know what I'm saying? What's the petty? Like, how about like you're trying to use that out, they're just being petty, or maybe you PC gamers failed to meet what they wanted. That sounds more logical, right? And I'm gonna tell you, the only reason live service games going to PC isn't because they want to make games for PC. It's because of necessity, because of how volatile live service games is. Live service game, you need a huge mass audience day one. Day one. You can't really make a live service game on just one particular platform and think you're going to be successful. It's a very challenging area of gaming. So that's just an area of necessity because they want to push for live service. But if the day Sony comes and be like, you know what, we're going to cut our live service strategy or dramatically reduce it to where it's just really Bungie making live service games and really no one else, then you're really going to get nothing on PC other than maybe, I think the one thing they're trying to do though is trying to get MLB to show on PC because I think MLB wants it there. I mean, that's natural. But other than that, you're going to see a lot less games. And here's the crazy part. Alex, ignore all the shit talking. I'm going to give you one good piece of advice. Do not hype the live service strategy of games. Do not talk shit like, oh, we're going to get all the live service games. Because here's my question. What goddamn live service games are they releasing? They're canceling them all. They're canceling, like, the one thing that is staying there on PC is actually the one thing they're not releasing. I like the little side thing. I noticed the little side comment you made, right? That said one tempo title a year and all the live service games. What live service games? What all live service games are you talking about? They cancel most of them. In fact, the only live service games right now is Marathon, which was always going to PC, even before PlayStation bought it, which I say buying Bungie was a mistake, but whatever. And what's the next one? Fair Games? That might be canceled too. There's nothing else. What else? You act like Sony flooded the last 5 years with live service games. There's not a lot of live service games Sony has in the pipeline. In fact, I can name more single player games on the pipeline. Obviously, we got Sorrows this year, right? We got Wolverine. We got, we got Cory Barlog's next project, which I think is going to be revealed this year. We got Intergalactic Heretic Prophet, right? That's 4 right there. Right off the top. We just finished playing Ghost of Yotai. Astro Ball was the year before. They have more single player games than live service games. They don't have that. I think the 2 live service games right now, Marvel Tokon, Marathon. And then Sony pushing through partnerships, Phantom Blade Zero is a title. And stuff like that. Kenna's on PC. Phantom Blade Zero is on PC. Stuff like that. That's why I say I go back to the partnerships. It'll be on PC. But you're acting like it's going to be 1 single player game and like 5 live service games. If anything, the more and more of those live service games are going to get canceled. And if some of them do release, what are the odds of them staying relevant? Because Concord was a flop, and PC didn't help keep that game alive. Not saying that it should, because that game, I called it, that game was a flop to begin with. It's a flip-flop, flippity-flop. Fair Games, that game might not even launch. And Haven's going to shut down. So I don't know what you're talking about. You understand? If anything, I always said that a couple of things. These ports to PC, and this is my opinion, but these ports to PC also is part of the overall impediment issue with producing games. Because the thing is, some of these development studios used manpower with Nixes. So it wasn't like Nixes did everything all unto themselves. No, they had studio help from the main studios, which slows down production and pipeline for producing games. So I think PC also slowed that down. I said from the beginning, PC strategy does nothing for the PlayStation gamer. Nothing. We get nothing out of it. Now, apparently Sony, with data, in 5 years of putting games on PC, they probably don't see it's worth putting single-player games on PC. I would love for them, whether it's a business update or something, to go into details, but we'll probably never get that.
Hell, we've seen PlayStation do it consistently every single time to every other brand on the internet. One company launches a game, they launch a tweet for the announcement of another game or a trailer of another game. It's a consistent theme for them. The problem that I see, though, is this. PlayStation's PC strategy has never been anything consistent. It's always kind of been wishy-washy when you think about it. Some games get incredible PC ports, while others not so much. And then at the same time, they don't even actually use Nixes to their full capacity, seeing as how they purchased Nixes specifically to make those PC ports in the first place. Even though we've had really great ports from Nixes, other games and other companies really didn't do so hot either. And then to make matters even worse, Sony and PlayStation burnt an incredibly huge bridge with PC gamers in the first place, where they tried to force PSN logins and restricted user access across multiple countries across.
You should have done the login. It was free. Should have done the login. Wouldn't even do a simple login that they wanted. They're putting games on PC, right? So that way, for you guys at least, you would say, oh, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation. I don't have to subscribe. I don't have to pay for online. And the one thing they ask is, hey, can you just sign up with a free login? Just put your email, create it, password, and now we link your account. It's free. And you guys wouldn't even do that. Maybe that bit you in the ass. Maybe that little thing was one of the many things that Sony wanted out of you PC gamers, and you failed to give it to them. Now, listen, if you don't want to log in, you have the right to. But don't be mad if Sony's like, well, screw you guys then. We can't get the metrics out of this community, but you want them to stay? And it's not like they ask you to pay for it. It was free. It's literally take 5 minutes to create an account. You didn't want to do it. And now you're upset that they're moving on from you. You expect them to stay? You really expect Sony to stay with this half-assed community? Hey, you guys were celebrating when Sony said, hey, you don't have to, log on. Don't worry about it. Yeah, PC Master Race, this is how you do it, console gremlins, fucking PlayStation, you guys have no balls, this is how you do it. Meanwhile, Sony's like, all right, motherfucker, don't worry. Okay. We remember. The North remembers. Now you kind of I bet you wish you were logged on now, huh? So you could get them sweet, sweet PlayStation first party titles. The North remembers, motherfucker. The North remembers. Doesn't seem so stupid now. Doesn't seem trivial now, does it? Now that Sony's like, yep, we're moving on. Now you realize, damn, maybe we should have created a free online account. The North remembers, buddy. The North remembers. Let's see what we got here. Gordo P23, thank you for the super chat. Playing through Returnal for the first time, it's great. It should have played it before Soros Day One. And you know what? You is what I'm hoping for. Gamers like you who tried out Returnal later on. Hopefully, the game was so impressive that that they'll be out. They'll go for Soros Day One. So I'm hoping Soros is much more successful in the initial launch than Returnal. And I think there's potential to, because I've seen a lot of gamers that play Returnal after the fact, and they love Returnal. So now they might give Soros a day one try. But we'll see if that happens.
Across the planet that already played Helldivers 2, already purchased the game, and no longer had access to it. Literally learning the first rule about PC gamers. We don't bend to you, you bend to us.
See? Just like I said, you guys were proud of that. Okay, cool. But now in the long run, does that sound like a good idea? Really, you really died on a hill. You really fought on a hill over a free login account. Like, you guys had your ass chapped over an account creation. Given the fact that PC in general, you're always creating accounts across everything. It's PC. You probably have 50 million accounts across all bunch of bullshit. But you stopped when PlayStation asked you over a free account. That's where you draw the line. That was the one subscriber account where it was one account too much. It was one account. You guys feel proud not creating a free account. That was victory for you guys. Well, there you go. You won the battle, but you lost the war.
And clearly they had to learn that lesson very quickly and realize that maybe this isn't the community that's going to simply swallow down any piece of garbage simply because it has pretty graphics and really nice high fidelity.
It's an account, Alex. What are you talking about? It's just an account. How many accounts have you created since the PlayStation account? It's not that big of a deal. This is why I said these PC guys are weirdos. Like, a lot of these guys, I don't think they have a lot of achievements in life. Because to really be proud, I prevented from making a free account. You're not going to make me create a free account. I am too powerful for that. Are you fucking stupid? The fuck are you fighting for? That is just, that I always said when I saw it, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing to die on a hill for. I'm like, this was just stupid. It's a fucking, how many accounts have been created since then across the spectrum? Like, that's some stupid shit. I could maybe understand if Sony tried to force you into paying to play thing. Totally get it, because 99% all of your games are free. Minus the World of Warcraft and stuff. So I get that. But really, hey, put your email in, create a user password. Now you have a free PlayStation account to track trophies and all that stuff. Send messages and that's it. Even if you didn't use it, just stay logged in. But nope. Y'all turned some stupid shit into some type of intergalactic battle. That was just so stupid. It was absolutely stupid. Fucking PC losers trying to win a gold medal and throwing out the garbage. Like, come on, bro.
Eye textures, while we have clowns on the internet doing that exact same thing, zooming into eyeballs and saying how great their PlayStation is while not playing the video game. But I think the craziest part about this rumor is that PlayStation themselves have been incredibly heavily investing into PC right now. I could literally download the PS Plus app on my PC and have access to every single game they have right now in their library that is streaming available to me. I don't even have to have it on Steam either. It's just right there available to me. Secondly, we also see the fact that the DualSense now completely works 100% on Steam itself, especially with the overlay. And PlayStation also put out specific programs for PC as well to update your drivers and even your firmware on your DualSense as well. On top of that, they even created an entire overlay for PC gaming, giving you access to trophies on PC while logging into PSN, an actual reason to do so, and not restricting the actual user access. And to make things even more confusing, PlayStation has in fact gone back and made games Steam Deck verified. Games that required an actual PSN login don't even have the window to have that in the first place on your deck or even on a Linux OS, basically just avoiding the PSN login altogether. It really is incredibly confusing to hear this kind of rumor, yet the actions are speaking louder than words. Seeing games like God of War Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima all specifically get their entire Steam Deck verified badge, and those are single-player PlayStation tentpole titles. The thing is though, I could absolutely see PlayStation removing their actual PC initiative, not because of my cannibalized sales, not because of my console sales, but other reasons in particular. But apparently there's far more to the article, so let's go from there. With Insider Gaming saying,
So this is probably why his video is like 30 minutes or whatever. You know, he's just regurgitating shit they done. But here's the thing. All the stuff you named is stuff that was part of the plan, right? But once their little observation period is observed and all this stuff is implemented, if you don't like what you like, you got to get rid of it. Just like Blue Point, sadly. They had 6 years or whatever. We already talked that to death. But plans change because there's something they were looking for. See, all the stuff you're looking at, Alex, is what you look at, but you're not understanding what Sony was looking at. Sony's not going to shut the PC down if it was successful. Can we at least say that? If PC strategy was absolutely successful, they're not going to be like, oh man, PC strategy is absolutely successful. It's doing everything we expect from this plan to do. Shut it down. So we know something's wrong. We know it's not doing what Sony ultimately wants. That's why they're shutting it down.
Saying this, when asked why PlayStation would revert to a strategy that seems to, quote, put something back in the bottle, along with the potential consequences of such a move, Schreier replied that they never release games on PC simultaneously with console launches. He pointed out that PC releases were always just kind of late to the party. He added that he doesn't think it was successful in the first place and doesn't think going back to the console-only strategy would be that big of a blow. In the same Reset Era thread, Schreier clarified that this is not speculation. He explained that certain topics may be surfacing during a show before he has the chance to publish a story about them.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn, I didn't even put the screen on. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to talk to you about, that I said earlier. That Schreier kind of clarified that this wasn't speculation. It's just that this got out during the podcast before he was obviously able to make an article, right?
He also mentioned that more information on this topic should be available soon.
So this is going to be an article. He just mentioned it on the podcast and gave what's coming. But this is an article. And once this is a Bloomberg article, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. Once Schreier makes a Bloomberg article out of this stuff, he got all the factual information and he got it. And hopefully in that article, it reveals the details on why they're reverting back. Can we all be honest? When Schreier, right? Like Schreier had things wrong, right? Am I saying his right name? Anyway, Jason has gotten things wrong, but they weren't articles. He has done speculation. He's done his opinions, and a lot of them were wrong. But he never actually made an article out of them. That's the one difference I would say about Jason Schreier. He had wrong opinions. He had wrong speculations. But those that were wrong were never articles. They were never articles. He never did a Bloomberg article and put it on ink. He put something on ink. That's the story. That's not a rumor. That's not a speculation. That's the article. That's the story. He does not miss with his stories. And that's probably because he put meticulous attention to detail and he only writes factual information that's about to happen. So this, what he's saying, this is an article coming, it's a done deal. And he's going to give us more details, and hopefully he could give us the detail on why Sony is moving away from this and how and what are the boundaries and stuff like that. But this is a done deal. This is not speculation. The stuff that Jason had speculation on and never made an article, yeah, many of them were wrong. But his articles, lock, seal, committed. It is what it is.
So we're going to find out what's going to be happening apparently quite soon, and hopefully it'll be good news for PC gamers.
Yeah, it will hopefully be good news for PC gamers. The article that's going to address Sony reverting back their plans going to be good for PC gamers. Bro, you're not a PlayStation gamer. Let it go. You chose PC. Enjoy all the benefits that has PC that is specific to PC. But getting PlayStation full support as if that is their platform, you should have never doubled down on that. It was never their platform. That's your fault, getting suckered into that.
Personally don't like exclusivity. I think it is an...
That is why, and I will say this. That is why I always said that Sony would first have to start putting games day and day on PC for me to really consider PC. I always said that. Consistently. I have to see it. I have to see them actually do the move. Not all they're gonna do it. So we just get a PC. Nah, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Where's my money? Show me the Carfax. I want to see the Carfax. I'm not gonna go with hope or might one day. You better put it in my hand. I better see the decision done from the company, day and date, all titles, the way Xbox did. Then that's a different story. But day after day, week after week, you just never saw that. So I'm like, listen, I'm not waiting for games. I'm not waiting to play Wolverine and stuff like that. People say, oh, get a PlayStation. You don't need a PlayStation Pro. I do need a PlayStation Pro. Why the hell am I going to play Wolverine? Oh, you could wait. No, you could wait. You wait. That's what second-class gamers do. Wait. I'm not waiting for a game that I want to play the day I want to play it. The games I wait for, it isn't because I'm forced to wait. It's because I don't want to play it. Like Expedition 30, Clear Obscure. It was there day one, but I chose to wait on it. I choose to wait. You don't tell me to wait. I don't get told to wait on the games I want to play. You don't tell me to wait. You don't tell me, oh, this game's not coming on your platform, so wait until it does. No, I'll have the platform. If I want to play the game day one, I will have the platform that play the game day one. I don't get told to wait. If I want to play the game, I'm going to play the game. And if I have to buy another platform to do it, then I'll do it. That's it. I don't get told to wait. You get told to wait. That's ultimately what second-class gamers are. They get told what to do. They don't make decisions based on what they want when they want it. They get forced to that. So every time a PC gamer was like, oh, I could wait, you don't have a choice to wait because you put yourself in that position. I could wait when the game's on PlayStation. You understand what I'm saying? Again, Clear Obscure is a perfect example. I chose to wait. I could have played that game day one, but I chose to wait because I can do that. My choice.
An inherently anti-consumer practice, and it forces other people who don't want to invest.
Hey, anti-consumer. Oh, stop whining and crying. No one gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And the best part is PlayStation doesn't give a shit. PlayStation caters to PlayStation. Sony caters to PlayStation, as it should be. We're the ones that actually buy their product, the main product of their gaming brand.
Invest into an ecosystem to buy a piece of plastic that they don't enjoy, to have a worse experience that they shouldn't be having, even though the entire purpose of these products is to sell you the physical product itself or even the digital one. I think the more insane part about this is the fact that we even saw Shawn Leaden and so many others say it's not cannibalizing sales, it's not causing major issues, and it's not impacting their console business, and making an extra, cool $2 billion is an extra $2 billion fucking dollars if you ask me. But I think the big issue is this: PlayStation is realizing that they do not have control over PC gamers. They also don't have unfettered access to PC gamers' wallets, and they're realizing that we are a far more fickle kind of customer than the entire Sony slop on my plate kind of brand that they've built themselves for the last 3 generations. And I think the biggest reason why this is
Okay, so if you don't like PlayStation, why are you crying about it? Shouldn't be crying about it. That's what I don't understand about these PC gamers. Now these PC gamers are mad. I mean, the PC gamers are mad. They're talking about it, but they admit that these games are slop. So if you admit the games are slop, then you're not really buying it. Like I don't understand. Like there's a lot of mixed messages with these guys. They're slop, but they're crying about it that they're not getting the slop. Like if Microsoft said, "Hey, we're shutting down Sea of Thieves on PlayStation," I'll be like, "I don't give a fuck." Oh, okay, fine. Whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy. They're doing all this work and all this complaining, all this stuff. Like, listen, it's dumb, bro. You were never a PlayStation customer. You know, not in the real sense. You know, they tried an experiment, don't like it, they're moving on from you. Don't worry about it. You're good. All the reasons on what you like about PC is still there. Futanari and all.
Is in fact happening is not because of my sales or my performance. I think the biggest reason why this is happening are 2 reasons in particular. Number one, this.
Before we get to that, let's see. We got Glassdoor Gamer. Thank you for the super chat. It says PC gamers down so bad they port begging the Wolverine voice actor for PC port. I don't even think Xbox went that low. P-Rock, watch Dark video. Oh man, they're harassing the actor. Come on, man. Don't harass the actor. Leave the man alone, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen. PC gamers. Listen. You clearly bought your PC and it wasn't for PlayStation games. I'm gonna say this. I would say maybe over the last 2 years, give or take, you do have gamers that left console because PlayStation games was going to go on PC anyway. So they decided to dip their toes on PC, and they're happy there because they'll get the PlayStation games eventually everywhere. So this move screws them. It fucks them. Excuse my language. It screws them over because they spent $2,000 plus on a PC because they were told and they felt they're getting PlayStation games, so they don't have to worry about missing out on PlayStation games ever. They were going to get the whole slate. They were going to get all the PlayStation games. So they finally moved on away from PlayStation because they didn't have to worry about it. So they spent their $2,000, $2,500, right, with the comfort knowing PlayStation games will eventually be there. Maybe not day and date for the single player, but it will be there anyway. And now all that shit went away. The rug has been pulled from under them. And now they're looking at their PC like, I spent $2,500. And now you're telling me that you're not going to get PlayStation games anymore. Maybe the last few remaining projects that's already in the pipeline, like, Ghost of Yotei could still be being made, right? It could be already done and Sony's going to be like, just release it. Or they maybe just cut it. Because rumor has it, Gran Turismo 7 was being ported and then they just shut it down. So that's not coming. So who knows? Who knows how they're going to handle like the next year and a half in this strategy. But right now, PC gamers who got their PC over the last 2 years with the comfort knowing that they're going to get PlayStation games. So it's all good. The waiting is all good. And now they're like, wait a minute. Now these games might not come at all. And you just spent $2,500 with the thought of having access to PlayStation games from here on out. So I can see those gamers being upset.
Steam machine. We are now being able to see at the fact that Valve is putting out their own piece of dedicated hardware, having access to every single game on Steam as well. It's one thing to have a Steam Deck, something portable. It's another thing for Valve to say, hey, we're now also going to approach the living room with our form factor PC, where you put all your games onto our storefront and we get the cut from it. Basically having a potentiality of a lot of users dropping consoles specifically, moving over to a more form factor PC that has an OS that people are more inclined to use with far more freedoms overall.
And there you go. You know what? Finally, some intelligence. Some intelligence here. My little skit of Totoki being pissed off that Steam, machines coming out. You potentially right. This could be a huge potential. With Valve trying to invade the living room, Sony's like, nah, we're gonna play ball. I remember whatchamacallit. I had a combo about this, and I said this a while back. I can't really find it, but I did say, and I said it earlier, I would be really interested in seeing Steam and Sony's reaction. In fact, let me see if I can find my own tweet on that. Let me see if I can find my own tweet. Let me see if I can find that tweet of when I said I would be really interested in Sony's reaction. Let me see if I could find it. I don't think I could find it, man. I don't know the exact keywords. Man, I don't think I could see the keywords. Damn it. Yeah, I said that a long time ago. With Xbox 9, I said I would be really interested in seeing I can't find it. I'm sorry, guys. I really had that, but I would have to spend more time looking for it. If I do find it, I'll talk about it in Twitter. But I would love to see. I said I would love to see how Sony would maneuver with Valve pushing Steam into the living room, and I think we're actually seeing Sony's reaction on that one. I think we're actually seeing that. So I do think this is probably the smart part of Alex, whatever video right here.
That is an incredibly enticing opportunity, especially for people who don't want to be nickel and dime by PlayStation specifically, seeing as how they are going to go through and monetize their users far harsher and far more, instead of actually just raising the price of their consoles due to the RAM crisis. So they're going to actually make more money squeezing blood from a stone than just selling their games to more people. And the second reason why this is happening, in my opinion, is going to be Xbox. Surprise, surprise. I really feel like they know exactly what the Magnus is going to be doing. I feel like Sony and PlayStation also know exactly how it's going to perform. Hell, the Xbox ROG Ally is the literal perfect example because of it. And seeing as how that little PC can play everything from Xbox games to Steam games to GOG games and everything else in between, really could have put a huge break on the entire aspect of what PlayStation wanted to do in the first place with PC gaming, giving direct competition, even though you could swear online there is no competition for PlayStation, which is kind of weird when you think about it. The users could see two other new pieces of hardware that could play every single game from every storefront on one device, and that is exactly what they're terrified of, losing that sweet 100 million user acquisition market share that they're so incredibly dependent on. In fact, I'm not the only one that thinks this way. Here's some responses on Twitter. The Ishikawa.
But that's logic. That's like literal logic. See, everything was fine when Steam stood in their lane with PC. but now Steam's approaching the living room. You really think Sony's gonna bitch out like Xbox and just not do anything? If anything, you should be complaining to Steam. See, this. You should actually be pissed at Steam. I don't know why you're pissed at PlayStation. You know what? Let's talk about it. You, Alex, should be pissed at Steam, at Valve's greed. It's Valve's greed, technically, that did this to you. Valve should have left the living room alone. They were fine with PC, laptops, and your Steam Deck. And who knows? Maybe that's the big thing. Maybe that was the big thing. Steam machine. And a little bit of Xbox Magnus, whatever, right? But if everybody would just stood in their lane, Valve, PC-centric, Sony probably wouldn't have cared. But with Valve being greedy corpo, because I notice you don't want to categorize Valve as a greedy corpo, they want to entrench the living room because they want that, that sweet 100 million users. Yeah, Valve wants that sweet 100. Because just like how PC gamers ain't really going to go to consoles, the majority of console gamers ain't going to go to PC. That's why PlayStation has no problem selling 100 million plus consoles. And Nintendo has no issue with their consoles. Because most of us don't want to game on PC. So how does Valve expand? Or how does Valve get into a completely different market? Because yes, the console market is its own different market. Lots of money to be made in that market. And Valve wants in. So why don't you really complain about them? Because they're the ones, their greed, because apparently it's not enough to be the most dominant storefront on PC and have Steam Deck. Hell, why don't they just increase more Steam Deck? Why do they limit it to just, their storefront, whatever, their account? Just unleash it and have that thing sold everywhere, right? But you won't hold Valve accountable for their decision. Maybe it's their decision to encroach in the living room space where Sony now has to react. Because like you said, if you could play all the games on a Steam machine, why are you going to buy a PS5? Well, you didn't say that, but I think we could all agree that's really going to be a big contention. You should be mad at Steam, bro. They're the ones that screwed this up.
Kao Rin says this: Sony are genuinely so stupid when it comes to making money. They refuse to port games to PC people would definitely want. Demon Souls Remake, Gran Turismo 7, and delay the PC versions of the games they do release by up to a year or longer, long after the launch hype window. It is incredibly frustrating if Sony does end up pulling the plug on PC releases because of their own mishandling of it. They also did themselves no favors a while back by forcing and backtracking on PlayStation Network logins on PC that made me not want to buy the games. And I think that's exactly what in fact happened. I feel like Rin is exactly correct. We saw a lot of ports not be exactly where they should be. We saw some ports do well, and then we saw PlayStation literally go around and fumble the biggest bag they possibly could, not only by launching games a year after all the hype died, but also by forcing a PSN login on many of the bigger games and putting a sour taste in the mouth of many PC gamers. If it's one thing that PC gamers are not, it's we are not corporate cucks, and we don't sit here and bend the knee to a corporation simply because they give us a third-person cover-based action-adventure game with stealth elements every year and a half or so. Play different kinds of games, y'all. Trust me, it'll save your life. Good old Reforge Gaming.
You see, and this is what I was trying to say. These guys act like the main character. And now they can't handle it. So good job on saying, oh, we don't bend the knee. You're not getting no games. You're not getting games from these. In fact, what you're really getting is live service slop. If that. And if that's if they can even push it. That's your problem. And then, like, the comment, Sony doesn't know how to make money. Motherfucker. They're literally at their most profitable. PlayStation's at its most profitable it's ever been in brand history. So anybody who thinks PlayStation don't know how to make money is just downright retard at this point. You cannot tell the branch that's been more successful than it's ever been that they know how to make money just because the games are not coming to your aluminum box. You're just a PC fanboy cuck. It's funny. Because you guys talk about console gamers being my plastic box, and you're literally crying because of my PC. You're doing the same thing. You're cucking over plastic. You're cucking over aluminum parts. And now you're on the internet, all of y'all crying like bitches. Because a company doesn't want to cater to you, and they want to focus on their actual core consumer who buys the console, subscribes, buys third party on that console. You're not the primary customer. You never were. And you guys can't handle it. You guys can't handle a company saying, fuck you. Because you guys thought you guys actually think you're superheroes or some shit. Like, do you guys not have real jobs and shit that you succeed? Like, do you guys not, got a college degree? Do you guys have no real purpose in life? That no PC, master race is like the shining beacon of your life. And you guys get upset when a company goes, we don't need you. That's really what Sony did. Stuck the middle finger, and you guys can't handle it. No, you're supposed to bend the knee. Sony's like, get out of here. Whatever. We're done with you. Bye. And they dusted you. Oh man, that must really hurt. That must really hurt, doesn't it? Being abandoned. You feel like you just got put up for an adoption agency. Your real parents left you. I'm sorry. No, you know what? Let me stop. I take that back, because there might be people who really went into that real situation. Uncalled for. That's uncalled for. I'm not gonna do that. That's a terrible joke. Apologize. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. We'll just stick with, oh no, Alex playing my pussy games. We'll just stick with that.
Said this, but I thought where the industry was headed, something exclusives are archaic and anti-consumer, something. You know what I love? How PlayStation
something. That's what I'm hearing right now. Something. Alex is still saying something. Alex, what? Something. Cry, cope, seething. I'm seething. Coping, seething. I am seething, coping. I am angry, seething. Betrayed. I am so betrayed. I am seething, coping. Something.
I don't even care about GTA 6. Oh, wow. Is that, ooh. I bet that, ooh, I know that got a few of you guys kind of angry about that one.
Why? We don't give a fuck. You don't care about GTA. We don't care. Listen, even if you did care, you can't play it in November. See, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you care or don't care. You're not playing in November because you're on PC. I don't give a fuck. All I give a fuck is I'm playing in November on the PS5 Pro at 60 frames. Whatever you do on your PC, whatever. You don't like GTA 6? Whatever. Play your Fuda games. What that got to do with me? It ain't stopping any of us playing GTA 6. We're all going to be playing GTA 6, and you not. Whether or not you say, well, I don't care for it anyway, you don't have a choice. That's the thing what I'm saying. You cannot play GTA 6 in November. You don't have the choice. You think you have the choice. No, you don't. Yeah, let me show you choice. I can choose not to play Fable. Because Fable's coming day one. And I won't play Fable day one. In fact, I don't think I'm going to play that game at all because I choose to. Forza Horizon 6, that's coming to PlayStation. Well, I don't even play that game at all. But Fable's the best example. Gears of War E-Day. I want to play Gears of War E-Day. I do want to play. And because that game is going to come to PlayStation day one, I get to play it. But if I didn't want to play it, I can choose not to play it. It's out, but I don't want it. That's Fable. Fable's, again, I'll go back to Fable. Fable's going to come out. It's day one. Like, hey, look, Puertorock, Fable's out here. It's going to be, when I boot up my PlayStation, you're going to see Fable. I'm just going to be like, swipe right. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Make that shit a PlayStation monthly game. I'm not really interested in that because I choose. When the day the game comes out, I choose not to play it. You, on the other hand, you don't have a choice. You ain't playing that game until whenever it releases. I'm just saying. How's Ghost of Yote, dog? Oh wait, you don't have a choice to play that game. Maybe that's one of the few games that's already in the pipeline. You know, should have bought more PlayStation games. Should have created a PSN account instead of trying to act like a hero over a free account. I don't know.
I've always felt that GTA has been boring and overrated. Oh! Wow! Yeah, look, literally, I'm not going to buy a PS5 for that game. I don't even care about that game at all whatsoever. I'll be more than happy playing a lot of my backlog on Steam and every other game that comes out there instead, where I have the freedom and the access and the ability.
Okay, so let's look at the impact on this. So at launch, instead of selling, I don't know, within, let's say, the first month, let's say the game sells, instead of selling 15 million in one copy, it's going to end up selling 15 million copies because you're not there. Oh my God. What is Take-Two going to do? The stocks are going to drop. The stocks are dropping, dog. It's already dropping right now. Take-Two stocks is dropping. It is going through the floor. They are in the red. They are in the red. Alex is not going to buy a PS5 for GTA 6. Oh my God. This is like the day the earth stood still. What are we all going to do? Yo, these PC gamers are so full of them fucking selves, bro. I don't get it, bro. This shit is crazy.
To play whatever game I want when I want without paying more money for no particular reason at.
Well, you're not playing any game. Oh, no, I'm sorry. GTA 6 is the game you don't want. Bro, you're not going to play that game whenever you want because you can't. You don't have a choice, dog.
All. So yes, Reforge, exclusives are inherently anti-consumer.
No, they're great ways for competition. That's why every other industry has exclusives in some form or fashion, right? They're trying to separate their product. That's how you have an identity, right? Because if you cater to your community, that's why. And what's funny is this guy he made a tweet talking about to bring the 360 back. The 360 had exclusives. It had an identity. It was the dual console. PlayStation had exclusives, had identity. It was a single player and JRPGs and Japanese products. It was two ecosystems. That was, sure, there was cross-pollination with the third party, but the identity was based on the exclusives. You can't do that when everything's a multiplat. When everything's a multiplat, then it's just a generalized concept with no unique identity. And that unique identity, where you're trying to cater to a unique crowd, that's what breeds greatness. That's why Nintendo has a unique identity, and they cater to that, and they produce great games based on that one. Everybody's complaining about PlayStation, but did you notice that this just so happened to coincide the moment they included PC in their image? Coincidence? Xbox is absolute dog shit. This brand is as at its worst it's ever been. Maybe putting in PC in the mix just doesn't help. It just doesn't help. The only time PC, Xbox, whatever should be mixed in is when your primary business is third party. When you don't have an actual platform. EA doesn't really have a platform. They're just EA. And you just play EA games wherever you can play them. Ubisoft, Take-Two, Capcom, that's it. When you don't have an actual platform that actually creates an identity and you draw customers into that platform, right? Then you just make whatever games and you're just pretty much casting a wide net. But when you have a platform, a hardware, you gotta cater to the culture of that hardware. And it doesn't work when you're third party. We see it with the Xbox. It's not working. I don't know why you guys are so tied into Valve. Well, I do know why. Because you really don't give a shit about the culture of PlayStation. You really don't give a shit about the console. This is why I say PlayStation gamers, don't give PC gamers any clout or any whatever. No one gives a fuck about what they say. Fuck them all. We don't give a shit. If you listen to these PC gamers, your console's going to die. Look at the Xbox console. Okay, the two groups that don't give a shit about PC gamers is Nintendo gamers. They give the middle finger to PC gamers all the time, and PlayStation gamers. We don't care. We don't care about your issues, your dilemma. That's a you problem. You bought PC, stay there. We don't give a fuck. We don't care about any advice, and I hope all the shit you guys, because I see, and I'm gonna show it. PC gamers going to Sony, I'll buy your game. If it goes to PC, no one gives a shit what you buy. You're on PC, mind your business. Stay there. Play your food or shit. All right? Enjoy that bullshit.
No matter what kind of argument you try to throw, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
Nope, you don't know shit. The guy, your dumbass didn't even know the percentage cut. You thought Sony got 70% off of Call of Duty sales. You don't know shit. You're just a PC cuck defending your own platform, mud plastic box, and I respect it. But don't think you're our friend. You don't give a fuck what happened to the Xbox console. It's crazy that me as a PlayStation gamer, I'm actually sad what happened to the Xbox console because the OG Xbox was one of my favorite consoles of all time, and Xbox 360 was great. But once this whole set in, since the Xbox One, it went to shit, you didn't give a fuck. Because you got the games on PC. This is what I'm telling you, console gamers. Give the middle finger to these PC gamers. Fuck them all. They don't care about your console. They don't care about the survivability of your console. So fuck them all. Fuck any PC gamer that doesn't care about console gamers. Now, for the PC gamers that do care about console and want consoles to exist, because it's a different culture than PC, and we believe in different cultural ecosystems, then you guys are awesome. But guys like Alex, all these PC gaming, fuck them. Your words don't matter. Stay on your side. You got cut. I'm just sad that it's too late for Microsoft to make the same decision. I'll be honest, there's a tweet right there talking about, would you be happy if Microsoft cut, Bethesda games? I would be happy if Microsoft cut Bethesda games, their first party stuff, not only from PlayStation, but from PC too. Cut it from everybody. If you don't buy an Xbox console, fuck you. We're not talking to your ass. I'm about that because I'll buy an Xbox console. And I have no issues with that. I have no issues if Microsoft wants to create a new identity. But cut PC out that motherfucker too. Fuck them. We don't need PC gamers input. We never did. And we were fine. I would be all about Xbox. I would be all about Asher Shaw would just be like, listen, we're going back to Xbox. And that means we're cutting off PC. We're done. It's all about the box. Which means we're also cutting our PlayStation. Make it happen. Unique culture on Xbox, unique culture on PlayStation, and both of us combined gives the middle finger to PC because they're stuck with FUTA. All about that. I'm all about that. Make it happen. But Microsoft Xbox is just way too deep into the hole. They're way too deep in the graveyard, so we won't see that from them. But I would absolutely love that. But they're way too deep into the graveyard. It would take billions for them to even begin that process. And they will lose billions more. They should have never went day and date on PC. If anything, they should have done what Sony does. A year or two later on PC. That way they can slowly back out if they need it. But they went so deep into PC, they just screwed themselves. And guess what? All you Xbox console gamers, you're literally being forced to buy a PC just so you can say you're on the Xbox. I mean, come on, man. Look at the Rogue Ally. Can we have an honest conversation now with the Rogue Ally, man? It's a PC handheld, and they suckered you into thinking it's an Xbox. You should have gotten an actual dedicated Xbox handheld that fully integrates with your Xbox Series X 100%. The ROG Ally does not integrate with your Xbox Series X 100% as a full native device because the only thing you can do is play your Play Anywhere titles and cloud game. It should fully integrate to where the library you bought, 100% of the library you bought on the Series X, you're able to download it onto your handheld and play it. All of it, not just Play Anywhere titles. The actual ROG Ally fully 100% integrates with PC. That's why you can install Steam and download Steam games and play Steam games. Not Play Anywhere titles, it's any Anywhere titles. Not just Play Anywhere, it's anywhere. Whatever game you bought on PC is whatever game you could play on the ROG Ally. It's fully integratable. Whatever apps you install, GOG, Steam, whatever, you can do that on your ROG Ally. So the ROG Ally is actually a PC complete handheld that fully integrates with PC. It doesn't fully integrate with your Xbox console, but you stupid motherfuckers, just because of console warning, you couldn't see that. You couldn't hold Microsoft accountable for them not actually giving you an actual handheld that fully integrates into your console ecosystem. So now you're not going to have any of that shit. You guys are just going to be stuck being PC gamers, posing as Xbox console gamers. No different than your ROG Ally. It's a poser. It's not a fucking Xbox. It's a fucking PC handheld posing with a sticker on it. But you guys were too dumb. And guess what? The PC gamers are getting fucked. The funny part is you should have listened to us. Yeah, sure, we have console war, but you know what's the difference between us and PC gamers? We're actually console gamers. Like you. We're cut from the same cloth. We want consoles to be successful. We want our consoles to be the main point of a company. That's antithetical to the PC side. PC gamers don't want that. So they siphoned you and separated you and cut you guys to pieces. Until now you don't really have a console and you won't get an actual console. You should have listened to your fellow console gamers. Sure, you may not like us, but at least you can say PlayStation ponies are pony, but they have a console that sells, and their console is a console. PlayStation handheld is not going to be made by fucking Asus or Dell or Acer. It's not going to be a Windows PlayStation handheld. It's going to be a native PlayStation handheld with the PlayStation OS that seamlessly integrates with the PlayStation console 100%. Come on, bro. You guys fell for the stupidest shit, and now your shit's going to get sunsetted because you fell for this guy's bullshit. Man, don't listen, console. Don't believe this guy's bullshit. He's on PC selling his like watch. Look, where is it? Look. Right here. Where is it? Oh shit, he's not selling Starforge? What happened to your link? Oh no, here it is. You pinned it. Starch Force System, best PC in universe. See? Come on, Xbox gamers. How you fell for his bullshit is beyond me.
In fact, here is that generic Eric saying this. PC thieves out here gone back to pork begging. Imagine spending thousands to not only miss out on GTA 6, but Wolverine.
Sucks.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, PlayStation fanboys are back on the menu. And clearly, all they care about is the ability to brag to you that you didn't buy the same plastic box that they bought. And now they get to show you how much fun they're having on Twitter rather than actually playing the video game that they're bragging about that you don't get to play.
But the game's not out yet. So how the fuck are we going to be able to play Wolverine? Yeah, we're bragging about Wolverine. It's not out. Listen, man, stop crying, dog. My aluminum PC. My aluminum PC. Listen, bro. Stop crying. Stop your blood clot crying, dog. Deal with it. You weren't good enough. You were never good enough. You were never, ever the main character. Deal with it.
It's almost like console warring in the big 2026 is really fucking cringe now, isn't it? But
no, it's amazing. It's amazing. Console warring's amazing because we got you in your feels. We got you in your feels. Yeah, we got you in your feels, dog. All right, we got you in your feels because this was you, buddy. This was you, buddy. So we loving the console war. We loving seeing that you are wrong. Wrong. We loving the fact that you are constantly wrong, boy. Yo, I never seen a guy I give you props, Alex, because you are a man who displays confidence while being so wrong in everything. So that is a skill. That is an absolute skill. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street selling stocks that shit don't exist and making millions off it. You are the fucking wolf of fucking console warring, bro. Because I never seen someone so confident and so goddamn wrong in my life. God, that's a fucking amazing talent, bro. That's amazing talent. That is fucking apex. Now I see why you got over 100K subscribers. Because that is some apex shit. That is Leonardo DiCaprio Wolf of Wall Street shit right there, bro. You made it big, bro. Fuck. Man, that's amazing talent right there. That's some amazing talent, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. That's some crazy shit right there. That is some crazy shit right there. What we got right here, right? Oh, shout out to Mike Deasy. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Says Reverend Puertorock preaching today. Are you not having a good time, man? Hey, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so and share this out to your favorite PC gamer. Shout them out. Hit them the link. Tell them, hey, if you're on PC, you need to be in this podcast. It's about the PC. You're going to love it. Promise them that they'll love it if they're a hardcore PC gamer. Oh, man, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Are you not entertained?
and what will happen with this in the future. I feel like PlayStation should in fact still be putting their games onto the PC platform. And I'm going to go even one step further. They should be in fact day and
They should be thinking me. No one gives a fuck.
the hype of those users.
Don't care about you PC gamers. You guys are too busy playing food or shit anyway. No one cares. No one cares.
Because they're on PC.
Who cares?
The superior place to play.
The superior place to play, but we're crying about PlayStation games are coming. My box is the superior with my 2050 and 4 gigs of RAM installed. And my no one gives a fuck, dog. No one gives a fuck about your Pentium ass PC. No one gives a fuck. With 4 gigs and I installed architecture. No one gives a fuck, bro. Ain't nobody give a fuck. Half y'all gamers got fucking listen. We seen the Steam data. That weak piece of shit Steam machine is equal or better than 70% of the PCs out there. So that superior platform, that depends on who you talking to. And most of you don't have the superior platform. You have a weak piece of shit. Broke ass. And that shit's not getting better. Listen, that shit's not getting better. Cause PC do-it-yourself parts that you have to buy yourselves, that shit is skyrocketing. That shit, hell, the RAM alone is like the cost of 2 PS5 Pros. Stop that bullshit. In fact, I would say maybe not this year, but over the course, maybe even throughout the course of this year, more people, right, because of how expensive PC is and it's getting, to replace RAM and all this stuff to play games, you're going to see PC gamers being like, damn, in order to replace what I got, I have to spend $1,500 on just RAM or some shit. And they're going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to consoles because, you know, the PC part picking is just way too expensive. Just way too expensive. And when they see a nice Pro 750 PSSR 2.0, which we're still going to talk about, perfect, baby. Perfect. In fact, I'm going to put on the link. Get yourself a PS5 Pro, Alex. Play some GTA 6 at 60 frames. Beautiful. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. You know?
Video games, clearly and objectively, mind you. And also, PlayStation should in fact learn how to handle...
I'm sorry, but be like, objectively, mind you. And listen, imagine this. Imagine spending 25, 3,000, even 4,000 on a PC. And then when I got the PC, I'm like, cool, let me play Sorrows. Oh, yeah, that's not on PC. All right, let me play Grand Theft Auto 6. You're going to have to wait on that. That's probably maybe 2027. Wolverine? Yeah, about that. I mean, do you guys even have Ghost of Yote? Ooh, yeah, about that one too. Okay, for those that do care, Gran Turismo 7. Yeah. Then you'll be like, then what the fuck do you have? Oh, we got Resident Evil 9, you know, Kenya's coming out. We got Battlefield, that's supposed to be awesome. Marathon's coming. And I'm like, multiplats. I bought a PC for multiplats. $2,500 to play games that's on the PlayStation at a cheaper price. So you know how the conversation goes, why do I need a PlayStation when I could play the PlayStation games on PC? Well, I ask you guys that question. Why do I need a PC when I could play the PC games, the multiplats you guys are hyping on PlayStation at a cheaper price? And then on top of that, exclusives. I get more games. Actual games are worth a shit. Now, don't give me I could play Unreal Tournament to, 1998. I don't give a fuck. Oh, I got the whole collection of PlayStation 1 and 2 games. Something you don't got. I don't give a fuck either. You think I bought a PS5 Pro to play PS1 games? I barely play PS4 games. So $2,500 a PC for what?
Oh, you don't have to pay online. So 2,500 versus 750. And the cost savings is the online fee. That's where the cost savings, especially now when a lot of games, the bigger multiplayer games are free to play. So you don't even really need to play online anyway. Come on, bro. Stop it. Stop it. If you were objectively better, then I wouldn't be missing out on games. You know, objectively better gaming platforms don't have you wait on games or are missing out on games altogether. Some of the best games. Now I'm talking about Fuda shit, because you could come back, oh, can I play Fuda, Escape from Fuda Prison on PlayStation? No, you can't. And thank God for that. Thank God we ain't got Magic Puss in the PlayStation Store. Deviancy. Absolute deviancy.
The PC user base as well. Clearly, take a couple pages out of Valve's playbook. You might even be even more successful than you actually think. But again, as I
PlayStation is more successful than Valve. You do know that, right, Alex? Have you seen the revenue streams between Valve and PlayStation? In which one? I think PlayStation makes twice as much money than Valve, despite the cocksuck, the blowjobs you're giving Gabe Newell. Yeah, buddy. Don't know what to tell you.
I said before, I think the real reason this in fact may happen is PlayStation being actually scared of losing their user base to other pieces of hardware like the Steam machine and also the Xbox Magnus coming in the future, with every rumor being around the corner that it's going to be Windows based as well and offer access to every storefront on top of that. But
in other words, and you heard him, you Xbox gamers lost your console and he doesn't give a fuck. Should have listened to the PlayStation gamers. Sure, we talk shit, whatever, but we're actual console gamers. We want consoles. And look who you listen to. And look who you end up. And then there's point, Sony should be scared. Every business should be scared of losing their business. I mean, isn't that like business 101? If competition is encroaching your area, you got to safeguard and do the stuff to succeed in business? Man, these PC gamers ain't too bright, are they?
anyways, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this.
All right, so yeah. Oh, JMW boy. So I had conversations with this guy all the time, and he was there when I was talking about Steam. Now, I said, hey, Sneakers SO and Nate the Hate are also packing up Jason Schreier's comment on PlayStation changing PC strategy. Homeboy changes tune. It's just another failed PlayStation project. PS Vita, PSVR 2, and now this. Well, yeah, I would agree putting games on PC was a failure. They should have never done it. Time to further monetize the console user instead. And that's his theme now. Let's see. Let's look at him, because I think that's his theme now. Oh, they're just going to monetize the PC users, right? You know, why can't PlayStation games get these numbers on PC? You know, what else? What are you crying back? Yo, what are you crying? Yo, GTA will be milked for online. GTA will flop. No guarantee. Oh, now wait, are you guys really gonna say GTA is gonna flop? Oh my god, y'all, you gotta stop. Yo, you guys gotta stop, bro. So yeah, great stuff, Oliver. Great stuff. What we got? What else we got? Going left to right. Hey, you know what? One last time. Let's do it again. Ooh, yeah, shoulder, right, left, spin, walk, turn. Yeah, karate chop hands. Yeah, smooth, electric boogaloo. Point in the air, point to the ground, and then we're gonna turn around, and then we're gonna do the robot. And then we're gonna go shoulder, yeah, and glide. The praying mantis, and the fruity hands, and the dame unger. Let's go right here. Dame unger, unke, dame unger, unke, dame tu ta. Oh man. Oh, I'm so McDonald's and I'm loving it. I am loving it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to McDonald's and I am loving it, bro. Yo, this is so enjoyable. This is so enjoyable. Let's continue on the topic because there's a lot. We can't move on to the PSR because look, we got more insane stuff. You know, my boy, and I like this dude, but my God, Destin, you do it to yourself. Why do you constantly do it to yourself, man? Destin Legari. So if Sony is making games exclusive again, will Xbox? What would that mean for future releases of COD, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, etc.? It feels a bit regressive, in my opinion, and I'm not sure people would be happy when they realize the IP Xbox could just remove from PlayStation. Why do you always include Xbox or vice versa? Like, oh my God, stop, Destin. One has nothing to do with the other. One has nothing to do with the other. Hell, you just got a whole new CEO, so she don't know what to do. This has nothing to do with Xbox. Xbox has no say in this. How is this? So PlayStation removing games from PC is a trigger reaction where Xbox is like, oh, you took your games away from PC? Well, I'm going to take all my games away from you then. What? If Microsoft was so worried about where PlayStation game was at, they would have never put the games on PlayStation to begin with, because PlayStation don't put their full library games on Xbox, the console they do have. Like, Destin, this has not. Stop, Destin. Just stop. Stop with the nonsense. Microsoft is not pulling their games from PlayStation. They're too deep in the ditch. It would take billions upon billions of losses for years to actually even hope for Strategize to come back. Think about it. They take all those games out. Where it's going to sell? Just PC and Xbox console? You're going to take COD, Doom, Elder Scrolls from 90 plus million consoles. Where are you going to make up the money then? Where's the money going to be made up from the absence of 90 plus million gamers? Call of Duty's already losing money with PlayStation. Now you're just gonna do a 3 times burn on that. 20 plus million PlayStation can play Call of Duty, and you're gonna just cut them off. Where are you gonna make that up? It would make more sense to cut the games from Game Pass day and date. You would make more money. You would make more money cutting the games from Game Pass before you cut from PlayStation. This absolutely does not make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Always bringing up Xbox not cutting. They're not going exclusive. They just can't. It's way too many billions for them. And listen, Microsoft is done losing billions on Xbox. They're done. That Amy Hood presentation and the fact that she reported is going to continue the next quarter of losses, they're done. They're done. They are absolutely done with this nonsense. They are not going to continue to lose billions and billions. They're not. So I don't understand, Destin, how all of a sudden the first thought in your head is, oh, is Xbox going to cut? No, Xbox not doing nothing. There's only one thing you need to keep a close eye on, and that's if Microsoft's going to continue with hardware. That's the legit thing, because that is the biggest detractor they have. The biggest detractor. And they release hardware and put Steam on it. Most of the third-party games are going to be bought on Steam. Microsoft doesn't get a cut. So even their own store is in danger. That's the stuff you need to focus on. Boy, oh boy, this is crazy. Right? Another one. So if you haven't noticed, this is going around. The job listing. This job listing was released last year, and it still hasn't been filled. But now they're pulling it up now, acting like this is a brand new thing. That job listing's been there a year ago, and they haven't filled it. I think some people said that it's already taken down or whatever. But stop it. Don't push this job listing bullshit. It's been over a year and they never filled it. Okay? Oh, we're gonna talk about this. Oh, look at this guy. Now he's trying to use PlayStation data to make up an opinion. Sorry, Bloodwind, but the Xbox console. Oh shit, am I showing the screen? I'm not even showing the screen. Damn, I'm not even showing the screen. That means you didn't get to see Destin's thing, did you? Shit, I'm a dumbass. I could put it back up. Hold on. I could put it back up. I'm a dumbass. I'm here showing my face. Hold on. I got you. Let me show you the Destin thing, though. Let me show you the Destin thing real quick. So that way you don't think I made it up. Where's Destin? Where's that Destin Nagari? There we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let me put it up. So see, this is what he says right there. Oh, and I did show it to you, right? Did I show it to you? Anyway. Yeah, that's him. That's him right there. Just in case. Shit, I'm not even sure if I saw it. Yeah, we saw it. Okay, good. So you did see it. All right. Homeboy right here, crying. He's an Xbox fanboy, delusional. Now he's upset that that Sony's not making the same stupid choices Microsoft did. Like, duh. Are you dumb? And we see how this looked. Now, this is what we have to talk about. Paris. Oh my God, Paris. Like, this is you just can't with this guy, man. Like, come on, Paris, man. It says right here, heard about PlayStation potentially scaling back on PC last summer, and in my opinion, it's a mistake. Well, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean you have a good opinion, but okay. I get they still value selling hardware, but you're putting live service on PC and Xbox for a reason, and that same applies to single player too. No, it does not. Absolutely does not. Probably make a video. That absolutely not. It does not apply at all. One, the only live service they really put that they did willingly of their own is Helldivers. Notice Marvel Tokon is not on Xbox. That's not right. Marathon is on Xbox, but that was already part of the deal. Listen, Marathon was going to be on everywhere, and Sony didn't have to buy the place, right? Stuff like that. But Fair Games is not going to be on there. Listen, live service is on PC, and this is another reason why I don't like live service is because it's volatile. So you need a lot of users because there's volatility. That's what I don't like about live service because Sony can't structure that game or that genre to solely rely on PlayStation. In my opinion, if you can't make a game that solely survives on PlayStation, then you shouldn't be making it at all. If you need other platforms for a specific type of game because of the nature of the game, then you should be making it. Your customers is the priority. We bring in the majority of the revenue for the business. It should be just for us. But they want to push of live service for the immense amount of money live service brings if it is successful. But the problem is you need a massive audience. That is not the same for the single player. Now, this is, sorry to do this to you, Paris, but here we go. Let's get the archive. I went into Paris thing, right? And I just typed in Xbox exclusive. So anytime he talked about Xbox exclusive, it's here on his timeline. So let's see. Let's see how this goes. Right here. So it starts here, May 15, 2021. Starfield being exclusive to Xbox shouldn't be a shock at this point. Been saying it since September that you don't acquire Bethesda and keep things the same. I moved on to its imminent reveal and be an epic sci-fi RPG we all hope it to be. So Bethesda, that primarily also put games day in day on PlayStation, made money off of PlayStation, it's fine taking them away from PlayStation. And this apparently it's not going to hurt Bethesda. It's not going to hurt the bottom line. Interesting that was a viewpoint. Let's see what else you got. Paris, Xbox officially joins, Bethesda officially joins Xbox. Xbox console, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. So again, taking away PlayStation players, a huge portion of Bethesda's revenue. Oh, that's fine. So taking a studio that's a proven 100% multiplat studio, it's okay to cut them down. But PlayStation, which is not an all-out multiplat studio, it's wrong for them to cut back to their core business. Interesting. Let's see what else. Let's see. New info on Redfall. I feel like with Game Pass, the potential is here for us to say this is arcane and these are our creative values. Okay, that has to deal with values. Not a fan of exclusives, but they are a part of the business of gaming. Starfield being exclusive, a hot topic. Oh, okay. Let's see what you have to say. Let's see. Let's hear it.
know there was a little controversy about Starfield being exclusive and some of the comments that he made, which I think was kind of taken out of context. But the overall point is this. There's always going to be exclusive. They're going to be exclusive on Xbox. There's going to be on PlayStation. Nintendo is literally an exclusive. And it's just a part of the business. You got to take the business out, the personal out of the business, right? Starfield is going to be exclusive, but you can't play it on PC. You can't play it on cloud, obviously, in Xbox. If it is truly the revolutionary game that we're hoping it will be, you'll figure out a way to go play Starfield if you don't already own an Xbox or a part of that ecosystem. And just the same way, we obviously play Ratchet and Clank and we play Spider-Man and all, Returnal and, Horizon Forbidden West and all these other games are exclusive on a PlayStation. Same as we play Mario and everything else on Nintendo. If you're a gamer and you love games, you'll figure it out because you want to play games.
You see their thoughts you see their thought process when it's beneficial to Microsoft. But once Microsoft said this is not why we're doing it, their attitudes completely change. Because apparently what he said, oh sure, he applied it to PlayStation while Xbox was, or why he thought Xbox was going to do it. But the moment Xbox said, yeah, we're not doing that, we're not doing the exclusive thing at all no more, now it's overall bad. Because 2 out of the 3 players are still doing exclusives. So he should be like, listen, Microsoft's not doing exclusive, but it's part of the business for PlayStation, Nintendo. So if you really want to play these games, you're going to get a PlayStation or Nintendo. But no, he's changing his tune. Let's continue. What's the point of Xbox plus Bethesda? Changing the perception, adding value to Game Pass. This is why you acquire a major third-party publisher and make that content exclusive to your platform. Ooh, let's listen to this. Oh, I love the receipts, man. This is 3 minutes. Ooh, let's listen to it.
Gary, I'm with you on everything that you said, but I am going to push back a little bit on one thing. You said that it's still kind of up in the air. Like, again, I agree with you. If you're an Xbox gamer, none of this matters to you. You're good. Game Pass, all that, all these games are coming. It's not even a question. But I do feel that Phil Spencer was pretty definitive to the non-quote unquote Xbox gamer on setting an expectation. The expectation is, unless there's a contract saying that I got to put that game on PlayStation, it ain't happening. That's what he basically told you in that. And I feel like he 90% got there, but that 10% wiggle room when he said legacy. And I'm telling you, I had to go listen to this thing like 5 or 6 times to make sure I understood 100% what he meant. He was talking about it in a contractual way because he talks about contractual, he goes, or, maybe legacy, something like that. In other words, he's not talking about, well, Fallout 3 exists on PlayStation. Of course it does. That's not going anywhere. But Fallout 5, when that comes, that's not coming to PlayStation unless there's a contract saying it has to come to PlayStation. That was the point he was trying to make. When he says legacy, I took that more as, hey, maybe there's something fun we could do. Maybe there's a remake to an old game. Sure, we'll still put that on the platform that it already existed on. But what he is telling you, whether it's a franchise or a brand new IP, any new game, unless Bethesda already made a deal for it, will not show up on a PlayStation or Nintendo platform unless we decide to do so. And chances are we won't, because what was the last thing he said? These games will exist where Game Pass lives. And Game Pass does not live on a PlayStation or Nintendo platform. And that's kind of what I've been saying since September, that this is their plan. You don't spend that amount of money to not be completely disruptive because they're trying to add value to Game Pass. This is how you add value to Game Pass. And then one other thing, I think about Starfield. Obviously, that's the hot button new IP topic, which we'll probably find out more about at whatever the summer event is going to be, right? Because I said this on Kind of Funny Daily, because Greg brought it up. If Starfield was going to be on a PlayStation, if there was some contract that said that Starfield was going to be on PlayStation, guess who would have announced that this week? PlayStation. Jim Ryan would have told you that already. They would let you know, hey, no, we have a deal in place. You don't have to worry. Whenever Starfield is going to be available, it'll show up on that platform. But if you notice the comments Jim Ryan is saying, he was like, hey, we want to doing 2 on all their IPs because they don't know either. The only guarantees that we know right now are going to be Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, because those are known entities that will show up. And Phil Spencer said, we will honor all our obligations. But beyond that, they're taking all of it to Game Pass. So that means it shows up on Xbox hardware, it shows up on the PC, it shows up on xCloud, which means mobile devices, and eventually TV apps. That's where these games are going to live. And this is the disruption that they're trying to make. Because I'll go back again. What has been the perception of Xbox the past 7 or 8 years? They don't have games. They don't have big AAA experiences. Well, guess what? They just got a publisher that does. That's the whole point of this. That's why they did this. They did not do this to keep things the same. They did not do this to not hurt the feelings of someone who doesn't play on Xbox. They can't worry about that. If anything, they're trying to incentivize those people that don't play games on Xbox to now come to Xbox. And you do that by giving them compelling games to play.
See? Now compare that to this tweet. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He had it all figured out when it was Xbox, on the purpose of exclusives and acquiring talent and doing all this stuff. But now that concept don't make sense. All that why he's there, he needs to look at his own conversation, right? He only changing his tune because his favorite brand ain't doing it. Because if he really believed in this, then it would apply to PlayStation. He would hold true to the foundational knowledge he's trying to push, but he's not holding to the foundational knowledge. He's switching his knowledge to accommodate the plans of a company that he prefers. Because this right here applies to all 3 brands. The problem is Microsoft ended up not doing it. So he just needs to accept, like, hey, Microsoft, if he was real, he would say, hey, I still believe in that. Everything I said is true. Microsoft's just not doing it. But as PlayStation, they're clearly doing it. They're giving you exclusives. And now they're doing it to the point where the single player games, you can't even play it on PC. So you better get a PlayStation. And according to him, if you're a real gamer, you'll get a PlayStation if you really want to play these games. His words. His words. I didn't make it up. His words. But he's switching it all up. So why is he switching it all up? It isn't because the words aren't true. It's because his preferred brand isn't doing it. So now he can't hype that no more. He can't hype those words no more. He can't hype exclusive. He can't say, if you're a real gamer, you'll get a PlayStation or Nintendo to play Nintendo PlayStation games. He can't say that because it doesn't toe the line with Xbox. Let's see what else. Well, Indiana Jones being exclusive, what studio do you want to make Star Wars? So he's obviously talking about Indiana Jones exclusive, and the answer is no. I have no words except our group is small. Okay, so thank you. How and where we play is changing. Exclusive no longer means one platform. Console, cloud, PC. Bring the games to where people prefer to play. Let's see. Oh, this is 2022. Xbox is already doing it, and PlayStation is adapting the same model. Oh, really? Okay, sure. Metal Gear Solid 6 being an Xbox exclusive. Wait a minute. Metal Gear Solid 6 being an Xbox exclusive with Hideo executive producer? What you hyping? What's that supposed to mean? What was that supposed to mean? Was he hyping Metal Gear Solid 6 being an Xbox exclusive? You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? A game that was exclusive to PlayStation, that became multiplat. Now he was, maybe there was a rumor or something that he's. Come on, bro. You see what I'm talking about? Can y'all see what's going on here? Let's see what else. See, truly appreciate all the feedback from this week's FS Cast. As for Bethesda, I could be 1,000% wrong, and you'll loudly let me know if I am. But to summarize my thoughts, the same reason you don't see God of War on Xbox, the same reason you won't see Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation. Oh my God. Oh my God, my God, my God. When the Activision Blizzard Sega saga finally closes, I'm expecting Xbox leadership to do a roundtable similar to Bethesda, set expectations on short-term and long-term plans and content service integration. Let me see. My thoughts on Xbox and a look back where things are headed. Let's see. Let's see your thoughts.
Hey,
this is a lot, though. It's all 17 minutes. I'm not going to show the whole 17 minutes.
In advance, I am a little under the weather. Been battling a cold. So
can't hear it, right? You guys can hear it?
And sleepy, and my voice is all gravelly. That's why. But, you know, I had said over a week ago, I wanted to start doing more solo content. And
that's on him
out here on Riverside.fm. And just with this recent Xbox news, I figured it'd give me a chance to kind of expand upon the conversation that we started on Kind of Funny yesterday on Gamescast with myself, Greg Miller.
Yeah, I could barely hear it too.
And Gary Whitta, just talking about.
I haven't maxed out. That's on him.
And obviously, there's been more news that came out today from Jason Schreier about a town hall with Bethesda, and then I saw The Verge was talking about specking, and this is probably a rumor speculation, but saying internally they were debating about Call of Duty potentially not coming to Game Pass, and what all this means ultimately.
Oh, that's a whole different combo. That's a whole different combo. Not about the exclusive. But you see all this stuff. You acquire Bethesda and make their game exclusive to add value to Xbox Game Pass. The long-term goal is convincing gamers to come to Xbox, and you do that with great games. So, I mean, we got tons and tons and tons of stuff over and over, him hyping exclusive, but it had to be specific to Xbox. But gaming Twitter. Games should not be exclusive to one platform. Also gaming Twitter. And the other is exclusive. I don't know. So you see what I'm saying? Xbox Game Pass will be the future of how we consume games. Nope. But see, anyway, enough vicious calling out vicious. Vicious do better, man. Just do better. Like you said a lot of stuff, and you would have been better set. You would have set yourself up better if you stood 10 toes down on what you believe. You know exclusives matter. Just because Xbox and Microsoft don't see it that way doesn't mean that what you said wasn't true. You absolutely had it right in the beginning. That you need content, great games, exclusive to your ecosystem. Nintendo has them, PlayStation has them. At one point, Xbox did have them. And that stays true to this day. Your little tweet about saying it's a mistake from PlayStation, no. You should have doubled down on what you said 4 or 5 years ago and said PlayStation's doing this because they see putting games on PC does not bring them value. You need exclusives. But you didn't double down because you're placating to a company. So that means, I'm gonna say this, Paris. Does any point you ever make mean anything? When you don't stand 10 toes down on what you say. 1 minute is exclusive everything, now no exclusive bad. Can anyone take your word to mean anything when you move like a feather in the wind? You don't stay hardline on anything. To this day, I stay hardline that putting games on PC is a mistake. Sony's live service is a mistake. It's an absolute mistake. And I stay 10 toes on that. And you've seen constantly issues with it over and over and over. There's always something going wrong with the live service. And the only thing they really pushed that was successful is Helldivers. And of course, people could say, oh, Marathon's coming. And even if it is successful, PlayStation didn't need to buy it. You were going to get Marathon anyway. So the game would have been successful without PlayStation. PlayStation would have got the 30% cut. Now, of course, if it's successful, Sony gets more money out of it. But if it's a failure, Sony pays the bill because they invested in it. Unnecessarily. There was no need for that. No need for that at all. Hold on, Paris, you've been better off just standing 10 toes down on how you really feel. Listen, the fact that Microsoft went a different direction did not mean that you had to change your stuff. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to mean that. You didn't have to align what you know is the truth and change it up to accommodate. In fact, if anything, you should have been the voices that actually preach and says, hey, Microsoft's going full multi-platform, put it on PlayStation, it's a mistake. It's going to devalue the brand. Just like how you said making Bethesda games exclusive brings value to Xbox, Xbox putting games on PlayStation absolutely devalues the brand. Absolutely. Because then at that point, there's no reason to get an Xbox, even if it's on Game Pass. Because then you could get the Spider-Man, the Wolverines, and all that, plus the Xbox games. You should have been that voice all the time. And then anytime Sony makes a move like this, you double down and be like, hey, Sony's making these moves because they're trying to bring more value to their platform. That's why they're doing it. The same way you explain when you thought Bethesda's games was going to be exclusive, that's how you should have reacted to this PC news. That should be the thing. Like, Sony is taking the games away from PC because they don't see value in PC, and that they see more value in just keeping it on PlayStation so you can buy a PlayStation. No different than what you thought. Unbelievable. Let's see where we can go. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's always crying, VG. This guy's always crying. Well, oh, is this it right here? VG, look at it. He says, customers that have sway is good for the market. If Sony cannot compete in a customer-friendly environment, it says something about them. Sony is competing, and they're the best at it. You're just crying that now the PC you bragged about and the console you defend is a wrap. You see, here's the beauty part, VG. The shit you are hyping, we already have. Because PlayStation plays the multiplats that you brag about on PC. It plays the Xbox games that you also play on PC. But now you're no longer going to be able to brag about the PlayStation games because all the future titles ain't coming. So PlayStation consoles, when you look at it, we get the best games from third party, get Xbox games, and PlayStation games. And the only platform that's going to be able to do that is the PlayStation console. PC can't do it. Sure, you have some older titles that's already there, but all the future PlayStation titles and games like that, it's a wrap. You're not getting them no more. So really, PC is the multiplats and Xbox games. Xbox Magnus is just a PC, so it's the same shit. PC is PlayStation is the actual console with multiplats, Xbox games, and PlayStation games. Objectively, the best console, and right now you can't handle it, brother. You cannot handle that. The fact that PlayStation found a way, they're going back to their fighting weight. 100 right here saying, you guys still believe in Mark Cerny? How many times are you going to let this man keep on lying to you guys? Like, 100, just shut up, man. Like, bro, you don't know anything about gaming, bro. You just complain to complain. You just complain about the crazy stuff. Here you are, you're being forced to be a PC gamer, and you're complaining about PlayStation PSSR 2.0 when there's already a Digital Foundry video on it. There's already a Digital Foundry video on this sucker. We already have it, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? You here crying over, get a PlayStation 5 Pro and play, at least for consoles, the best version of console games on the Pro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Oh, man. 100. Look at you. Brother, Sony cannot afford to lose that type of money. I don't care if it's 8 billion, 11 billion, 100 billion. They cannot afford to lose the money. Not putting games on PC. And Sony has not came out and said anything. You going off, quote, liars. Because Xbox put games on PC, Sony hasn't put games on PC. PlayStation can't take it back. There's no take backs. You can't take it back. You have to be like Xbox. You have to be like Xbox. I don't care if it's 8 billion. I don't care. You have to. The games on PC. You can't take them. You can't take them. I'm gonna spend $1,500 on Magnus. just so I can say I can play PlayStation games. You can't take them. You can't. Boy, man, if you don't get out of here with your bullshit, bro. Ain't nobody trying to listen to your bullshit ass. Man, you better keep crying. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. There we go again. Oh, here we go. Shout out. Here we go. Oh man. Oh man, what's up? So let me get the PS5 Pro. Not like this. Gritty. You think Resident Evil is the only game that's better on the PS5 Pro? Bro, most of your Xbox games are better on the Pro. PlayStation Rapper celebrating after Resident Evil working Friday makes the $100 PS5 Pro version look better than PS5 Xbox. Bro, most of your Xbox, like the best version, most majority of the best. I think they fucked up Avowed, but all the other Xbox games that has the Pro updates, they're the best versions for consoles. Like literally, your own shit is better on PlayStation 5 Pro. Come on, Gritty. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, don't do that. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. You know. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? Where we go? There's a lot of Blueprint talk, but man, where's the? Uh, let me go look for the article. I think I have it bookmarked. Maybe I have it bookmarked. Maybe not. I should have bookmarked it. Let's see. No, I don't have it. That's crazy. I thought I bookmarked it. But this was Digital Foundry. Well, you know what? Let me check the chat. I got my peeps. I got my peeps. Yo, SPR, you are the truest. God, this dude is the man, bro. He found. So going back to another topic, when I told you that I was wondering how Sony would react, and he found it, man. SPR, bro, you the truest of the truest. And I said this when I said this. Oh, damn, I said this in 2020. Yeah, I said this a year ago. This is the tweet. Will be interesting to see Sony's response to this. Will this change their current business arrangement with Valve? Valve is building a Steam console to rival PS5. Yo, SPR, bros. Yo, everybody, give a shout out to SPR. Follow him on Twitter, bro. Follow him on Twitter, man. Give him a follow, bro. Let me show you right here. This is him right here. This is his, what's his at? I'll give you his at right here. That's it. SPRXS88, bro. You gotta follow him. And if you're on Twitter, bro, give him some love, man. Man, you're the truest. This was it, man. This was exactly it. And I said this. Will be interesting to see Sony's response to this. And let's see, you know what? Shall we entertain a few moments to see the comments? Shall we? Shall we? Let me see if I got any super chats. I'm sorry if I see some super chats. We got Anime new member. Welcome to the 60 Frames Don't Lag family. Thank you so much for rocking out. Thank you. You know, hit the like button. But for now, shall we find some entertainment in the comment section? I think we should find some entertainment. I think we might be entertained. Should we? This thread is a year ago. This thread's a year ago. This right here. This was a year ago. Shall we entertain the comment section and see what the replies was? I think we should. Kenny Powers, $5 super chat, says this has been one of the most enjoyable Friday nights on this channel. It's not even over yet. No, we got a lot more. For those of you working the late night shift, stand by. But yo, shall we entertain the comment section? Let's see what a year of maturity has done. All right, let me bring it. Shall we? Let's start with the first one. Death Singer, free online, make shake Sony up. Okay. Thrifty AAG says this makes sense if you think about it. The year that Sega left the console market, 2001, was the same year that the OG Xbox released, November 2001. When the third place contender dies, somebody always there to try to take their hand. Okay. Cryptosy, no worries. Okay. He said there was no worries. Leo, without exclusive, that shit is dead in the water. Okay. Let's be honest. It's to rival Sony and Nintendo. Shout out to you. I know sometimes he's in the chat. I don't know if he's in there now. Psycho Gamer. Just in time for M's departure. I would love to see what Samsung could do in the gaming space. I said maybe even Apple. Pipe Dream. Expensive console with no first party flop. See Xbox. Would be interested to see how PlayStation handles that, given that a Steam console will give people access to whatever games PlayStation has put on PC. Maybe they take their games off Steam and open their own PC storefront. Well, I'll give you a heart for that, but I don't think they're doing their own storefront. I think they'll withdraw all SP games, leaving their multiplayer games, something they may be doing already. As for Valve, if this is their own design manufacturing, it'll be interesting which pricing they follow. You got to give that dude a like. Malice Flare, shout out to you. Good call. Remove games from PC. David Jones just said straight up, I'm giving you a like. Good call. Man, people who follow me, smart dudes. You guys are some smart motherfuckers. I'll give you that. Max Mini says, I'm glad Valve is doing this. With Xbox out of the game, PS needs a competitor to keep them innovating and providing value. Thanks, Valve. Now let's see if this causes PS to delay its games to Steam. Give you a like because you were close. This is causing them to be like, I'm out. Oh, JMW boys. He said, this has already been debunked by a Valve engineer. They are not working on any console. Is there a dislike button? Is there a dislike button? Already debunked? L, boy. That's an L, JMW. Oh, and you're a PC gamer. How do you don't know your own shit? Oh, I know why, because y'all keep talking about consoles. JMW. Guys like you're always on console topics, never on your own PC topics. So yeah, you don't know a damn thing that's happening on PC. Because y'all worried about consoles. The same response when the Steam Deck released. That doesn't mean anything. Steam Deck is, yeah, hit the dislike on that one. That Spider-Man 2 PC situation smells fishy. Maybe that was intended. I don't know what that means. No more PC ports, period. Gotta hit that like, boy. Good job, Jamar Bates. A handheld device by Sony or Xbox, but with some sort of separate license, with all games bought to be able to download and play it on said handheld and then not needing to be online. I have no idea what he's talking about. What does a handheld device by Sony or Xbox, but with some sort of separate license? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, a couple of things. Yeah, same response. Spider-Man, PS2. I don't know. You guys know what this means? I don't know what this means. They need PC, so literally nothing will change. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna quote that. You thought it was because you thought you were safe. You thought you were safe, didn't you? You thought you were safe. Let me see. What can I put? You thought you were safe, huh? You thought you were safe. I'll just leave it like that. You thought you were safe. And there you go. We'll start with there. I am 100% sure people are reading this so much more into this than what's really happened. The Steam machine failed horribly, and I don't think the market evolved so much that we want another machine to play multi-platform titles. Well, you were wrong. They're making them. PlayStation will reign over them as always. Gotta hit that like. They will take their games off PC. Good job. I wish them all the best. I mean, yeah. If it does change their plans, then they are stupid. If it doesn't change their plans, then they are stupid. Good call, Keanu. Absolutely good call. Maybe that's why there are rumors of PS games getting their PC ports canceled. Good job, Kevin. It was debunked. L. You PC gamers need to pay attention to your platform and Xbox. I don't know what that means. It's niche. Why Sony's scared? I'm sorry, bro. You can't just ignore stuff. Nah. I mean, Steam Deck ain't doing much. 3 to 5 million sales in how many years? I agree with that. Steam TV 2.0 inbound. Steam TV 2.0 inbound, yeah. Sony PlayStation better think long and hard about their brand destructive PC porting nonsense and act swiftly and decisively. A Steam console that can play PlayStation games renders PlayStation useless. Woo! And he added Sony. He said Sony, PlayStation, Herman Holtz, Rhodes Scott, whoever this guy is, Dave the Dave Thatch, Sean the girl, or whatever. Yeah, yo, this dude added everyone. Give a shout out to Chris. He saved PlayStation. He made sure all the figureheads knew. Good job, bro. You saved the day. They listened to you. Haha, change after most of the big titles are going. I don't know how brain infected of stupidity. Like this guy doesn't know how to fucking spell. Haha, change after most of the big title are gone. I don't know how brain infected of style petty can be in a single company. But yes, Sony and Microsoft are perfect examples, and I mean not only games. However, it's just sad. I don't know what the what? What is this guy talking about? Not really. Steam Deck didn't. So why would the Fremont? Because Steam Deck is not impeding directly with what PlayStation is doing. They pull everything off Steam more likely. Ooh, good job. It should. They should treat a rival home console the same way they treat Xbox. It would be a direct competitor. Good job, brother. You get that like. Once Valve enters the console market, then they are going to be a competitor to PlayStation. It's obvious that PlayStation strategy is going to change fast because when it's Valve and the shitty games are expected to fail just like Steam machines. Good job. Got some good people up in here. There's been a rumor for many years now. Valve did try once. I think it's just hearsay. They did do it. La Falao. Yeah, that was a failure. Probably a huge success like this bad boy. I respect the jokes. It's going to be a Steam box, so I don't see why it would. Yeah. The thing will rape PS5 since it can play Xbox Plus. It just seems like Steam Deck. So you see, and that's probably why Sony's like, nah, you ain't getting our games no more. You know, I'm not a PC player, but I want a console or handheld that can run GOG. Okay. For how Sony wanted to end up like Xbox, Sega, and then only fell console, they can fuck around and find out. I respect that. Honestly, Sony deserves to crash and burn for going down the PC route. Fuck around and find out. You know what? But they course corrected. They course corrected. All right. So let's do this. Let's talk about. Good job, SPR. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ooh, not that one. I meant this one. Let's talk about Resident Evil 9 and PSSR. I did say this. So I mean, you guys seen. I would assume you guys seen like the Resident Evil 9 analysis and all that stuff. But the one thing that I am so happy is this. And I said this here. This right here. This is huge. This is huge because I think we all had concerns about this. And it's the forthcoming PS5 Pro system update will allow users to toggle on the new PSSR automatically. Let me click on this. Users to toggle on the new PSSR automatically, retrofitting its existing games that haven't been updated with the new tech. Okay. So pretty much what's happening is that any game that has PSSR 1.0, when they finally put the update live, because right now it's only Resident Evil 9 that has PSSR 2.0. It was made and baked into it, right? There's probably other games that's going to happen, but I think in March, they're saying in March, when they do the system update with PSSR 2.0, there's going to be a toggle, and that toggle, once you activate it, it will automatically apply PSSR 2.0 to games that are PSSR 1.0. So there's no need for developers who already release games with PSSR to go back and patch them. The system's doing it for them. That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And I think that was a conversation. I don't know if we had that on the podcast, but it has been a concern definitely in the Twitter community, social media, where, they released 2.0, but people had concerns. Like, I think a perfect example, Silent Hill 2. People had concern, will Konami actually go back and patch 2.0? Metal Gear Solid Delta, will they go back and patch it? Well, now they don't have to. They designed the system to where those games will automatically be patched in, or whatever is the appropriate term, to have PSSR 2.0. That's some good stuff, dog. That's some good stuff. That Mark Cerny's the GOAT, bro. Tell me Mark Cerny's not the GOAT. Mark Cerny, boy. He knew. He knew for this to work, every update with PSSR has to be automatically applied to every game that's on PSSR. So if the game's on PSSR, you're getting the 2.0 update. Fantastic, man. Brilliant man. Brilliant man. Brilliant that he found a way to not rely on the developers, especially third-party developers, to put in the time to do it, because most of them won't. Most of them will just move on. Most of them are not going to go back and update their games, especially if it's over a year old or whatever. They're not going to go back. They'll obviously PSSR 2.0 will go forward, but they wouldn't go back. And Sony knew that. And the staff knew that. All the development teams that was part of this, they knew that was going to happen. PSSR 2.0 had to be easily implemented on any game with PSSR 1.0, with PSSR 1.0. So that means all PSSR updates. I'm just using PSSR because PSSR is annoying saying it. So any PSSR title will get updated as PSSR gets updated automatically. And that's brilliant. So yeah, let's look at, I see somebody's talking about looking forward to Stellar Blade, GT7, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2 with PSSR 2.0. All those games. I'm personally looking forward to Metal Gear Solid Delta because I held off on that game. Because, you know, it has a lot of issues and stuff like that. So I said, you know what? PSSR 2's coming soon. I'm going to hold off and see how it does, right? Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let me see.
At the tail end of my Resident Evil Requiem video, I'm
just gonna show this. But if you haven't seen it, go check out Digital Foundry. I'm just gonna show this portion. The PS5 performance mode versus PS5 Pro.
She did a little bit of comparisons with PS5 as well, but they're maybe less instructive than I'd like them to be because obviously PS5 is not using PSSR at all.
Yeah,
in this title. And it's also not using FSR 3 or FSR 2 or TSR
Correct.
or another analytical upscaler. It appears to be using some combination of TA plus FSR 1, like John noted. So the differences here are very encouraging, but they're not as dispositive as we might see in other titles.
Let me skip to this. Let me skip to this one.
but Alex,
Let's go to this
you
one real
actually went and did the thing. You brought in the PC version with AMD's FSR 4 and DLSS 4.5.
Right.
And we're able to draw direct comparisons. So this is like
right here, you could already see it, right? You could already see, and I apologize for the stream, but the middle is PSSR, the new one, DLSS 4.5, and this is FSR 4.5. And you could already see FSR 4.0 doesn't look as good as PSSR 2.0.
versions of these techniques. And
it's very
now
blurry.
We can see how it stacks up against PSSR 2. And my impression is that it stacks up pretty well, but the PC upscalers do still have a bit of an advantage, right?
Yeah, it depends on where you're looking. To just reiterate the point you said earlier about the ray tracing in the title and the noise you find in it, if you use DLSS 4.5 or AMD's FSR 4, you'll see the same, more or less, noise. You can see this in this scroll by and the intro cutscene of the game on the car. At first, DLSS 4.5 looks like it's resolving it better, but then after it gets disoccluded, you'll see that it is just as sprinkly and crappy looking as the other upscalers. The Capcom denoiser for both its RTGI and RT reflections is pretty lackluster. So that is something that is shared across all upscalers in the game. But like I said, depending upon where you look, you can see advantages and disadvantages of PSSR 2.0. I'd say the biggest disadvantage versus FSR 4 and DLSS 4.5 here, as represented by preset L, is that as things move, they have more aliasing on them. The example that I just brought out from the game's intro cutscene is if you look at the armrest on Grace's chair here as she moves. Yes, I know it's a bit of a silly example, but if you look at it, you can see that on the PSSR portion of the screen here in the middle, as it moves, you can see the 1080p kind of resolution of it shine through, versus on the FSR 4 side, and especially on the DLSS 4.5 side, it stays typically anti-aliased and looking higher res as a result, better during that same time frame. Now, this is a zoomed in example and slowed down for the purposes of showing things on YouTube, whereas if I showed this at full speed, unzoomed, you literally wouldn't see a thing because YouTube is a terrible medium. But here, it's mainly about, if you were to see this in motion, you would just see it like sparkle for a little bit. That's what your eye would see, versus on the other upscalers, you really wouldn't see anything. So that's how I know to zoom in on stuff like that, because my eye notices while I play. And then for didactic purposes, I zoom in for videos like this. And you can see that in other aspects of the game's intro. I noticed it mainly on her boss's rims of his glasses while he moved around. On the other upscalers, as we can see here, left and right, it stays pretty well anti-aliased on like the rim of his glasses as he moves around. But I'd say on PSSR 2, it's more aliased, and you can kind of see that 1080p-ish resolution shining through. But that doesn't mean all things are worse on PSSR 2. As we can see here, as Grace picks up her clipboard and goes to bring it into her boss's office, the FSR 4 side here, as the clipboard moves, forward and backward in this ping-ponged example here, there's ghosting, like these little white lines that follow the clipboard as it moves. Those are ghosts of it from its previous frames showing up in the current frame. PSSR 2.0 doesn't have that, and neither does DLSS 4.5 preset L. And there's some other, some differences that I noticed in the intro that are a little bit confusing. One is that if you look at the trees in the intro shot, DLSS 4.5 is perhaps like the most crisp, the sharpest looking here, with PSSR 2 being a little bit behind it, and then FSR 4 looking actually a lot softer. And all throughout the intro, that was the appraisal I had, that FSR 4 looked a lot softer, including in this shot here, where you can see on Grace's desk in the background, there's like a whole bunch of like newspaper clippings on the wall and whatnot. You can see that DLSS 4.5 is perhaps like the one where the text is most legible on that board. Then it's PSSR 2.0 in terms of legibility. And then FSR 4 is, noticeably behind, with it being softer. When I switch over to gameplay, though, later on, after you take control of Grace in the city in third person here, as I chose to do, you can see, if you look in the background, that DLSS 4.5 and FSR 4 are perhaps the most reasonably sharpest ones, whereas PSSR 2.0 here looks quite a bit softer. And including that, there's some other things in the city shot here that stick out. Like if you look at the fence that is zoomed in here on the background, the chain links on it, they're completed on DLSS 4.5 and FSR 4.03 here, but they aren't on PSSR 2.0. A couple of other things. Just like line completion is typically worse in PSSR 2.0 versus the other upscalers. And one last thing that I wanted to mention is that you'll be seeing in footage that you'll maybe see from other outlets, kind of like the RT noise issue that the game has that is universal to all upscalers. The game's depth of field is also pretty aliased and noisy on all upscalers too. You can see that on the zoom in of her boss here. If you look at the side of his face, you'll notice that it's pretty aliased and raw looking on all versions of the upscalers here. And that applies to every aspect of the game where depth of field ever shows up. So if you're using upscaling in this game with depth of field and it turns on, it all of a sudden looks quite a bit lower res than the rest of the image. So my generic appraisal here is that it is pretty similar to FSR 4.0, but it seems to hold on to information perhaps for not the same amount of time or in different areas of the screen, hence why it doesn't show ghosting in the same places where FSR4 does. But at the same time, I think it shows more aliasing and doesn't complete lines as well with anti-aliasing, as we saw, looking there in that zoomed in shot of Grace in the city, where you can see the chain link fence as well as the power lines above her. But there's some things I can't control for in this title, like sharpening. I don't know if the game is sharpening on either platforms. Another thing that I can't control is that the game is very dim and lacking contrast, and it's generally a dark horror game, which is actually not a very good, like if I were doing.
It's not there. I think I put too much. Hey, so what do you guys think about that? He went into zooming detail on PSR 2.0. I'm like, holy shit, we're doing boomerang clipboard stuff, but that's some very close detail on that. We got Bobo Country. It says Digital Foundry never put MSRP price on their PCs, but criticizes PS5 Pro price. They also said they want consoles to die for PC multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So one of my biggest things about Digital Foundry when it comes to this PC PS5 Pro comparison is I would like to know the build that they're using in comparison to the Pro, right? And what would happen if they actually use a build similar? Because like if right now, if they're using, let's say, a 4090 with DLSS as compared to a 3060 with DLSS. And then obviously the FSR4, the only card right now, if I'm correct, the only card that uses FSR4 is the 9000 XT, the 9000 series. You see what I'm saying? So I always wondered if you do like for like with CPU, GPU similar, how does this all play out? That's why I say like the PS5 Pro, I think for bang for the buck, it's the best option out there. Like it's absolutely incredible. For $750, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Listen, let's celebrate. Can we celebrate? I think it's time to celebrate. I think we can celebrate. I think we can absolutely celebrate. Let's go. Right, left, turn, and walk, and hands, and spin, and electric boogaloo, point in the air, point in the sky, yeah. And we're gonna roll around, and we're gonna do robot. We're gonna spin it around, and some shoulders, and stride, praying mantis, fruity hands, diamond girl. It's just I just can't. Oh man, I just can't with it. Yo, this is the funniest. This oh, I can't with this. Oh man, hit the like button on this one. Yo, we're gonna do one more topic real quick. It is apparently it pertains to here we go, Blue Point once again. So this is what's interesting, and this is a really interesting conversation because I'm not gonna regurgitate. We already know about Herman Hulse, but what's interesting about this is apparently after it says right here, last year Blue Point pitched a Bloodborne remake. Sony didn't turn it down, but From Software did. Inside the tragic disclosure of Blue Point and what they've been doing for the last 5 years and why the studio was shut down. So he did the whole thing. What's interesting about this article was the Bloodborne remake was pitched after the closure of the God of War live service game. So they say, hey, all right, the next best thing is we could do Bloodborne remake. And that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. But apparently, Miyazaki says no. Apparently, it's political. He doesn't own the game. Sony fully owns the game. Let me You know, yeah. Okay. So just looking at research, um, for it says right here, and I'll put it up on the screen. Let me zoom in. It says Bloodborne remake could have happened, but from software report, he said no, it was not meant to be. Over the years, fans have called a Bloodborne remake. It's never materialized, but not for lack of trying. A new report from Bloomberg said they recently shuttered Bluepoint Games pitched a Bloodborne remake in early 2025, but original developer from software rejected it. According to the report, Bluepoint was advised that the numbers made sense, but from software didn't want it to happen. This isn't a total surprise, as former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida told Kind of Funny Games in 2025. The original Bloodborne director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, wanted to remake the game but was too busy. He added that Miyazaki didn't want anyone else to touch it. Sony owns the Bloodborne series, but Yoshida said in an interview that he believes Sony would respect Miyazaki's wishes about not making a remake, and that appears to be how things played out. Okay. So, the respect for Miyazaki means that we can get a Bloodborne remake. So we can get a Bloodborne remake. How do you feel about that? Because of Miyazaki. How do you feel because of a professional respect? Sony is not going to greenlight. I just want to get a pulse from everybody. How do you guys feel about that? I see, I respect it. It is what it is. Let me see. He for sure didn't like what they did to Demon Souls. People respect it. Okay. Can I show you guys something? And when I show you this, well, we'll keep going. Everybody chime in. If you don't want to make a whole sentence, type in 1. If you respect it, type in 2. If you're like, nah, that's bullshit. Let's do it that way. Type in 1 if you respect it. But you know what? I'll do a poll. Let me do a poll. I'll do a poll. Does that make sense? Let me do a poll. Start a poll. How do you feel about from How do you feel about From Software saying no to Bloodborne remake? I respect it. That's bullshit. That's BS. So the choices are I respect it, and that's BS. Let me start the poll. I want to capture that. So it's on the poll. Please vote real quick. So I want you to all to vote, and then I'm going to show you something. So we're tracking. All right, and we're getting a lot of polls. So please participate in the poll. Let's get maximum participation. It's just a simple: you respect it, or that's BS. Respect it mean, hey, you can respect the relationship, cool. Well, now that's BS. Sony owns the IP, and if the gamers wants it, we get it. We got about over 200 people, 185 likes. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so now. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Tuesday, 60 Frames No Like podcast with the crew. We're going to be definitely talking about PC pulling out. Pause. You know, so far we got 59%, 58% saying they respect it. So, okay. We got about 48 votes. Oh, come on. We got more people than that. You don't want to participate? All right. All right. So, yeah, that's it's just really respect or whatever. The reason why I'm trying to get a feel of all the viewers who are watching it right now, right? So right now we were not able to get a Bloodborne remake because Miyazaki said no. He doesn't want any other studio touching it. If it's gonna happen, he's gonna be the one doing it. And Sony's respecting it because they own the IP. You know, he owns that. They own the IP. You know. Shout out to Chill Will. Member says hit that like button, everyone. All right. Okay. I see. So far from what I'm seeing, you know, the I respect it is kind of winning. So I want to show you guys something. All right. Again, this is Miyazaki. Okay. And I'm gonna put something up, and then I want you to tell me if you how you guys feel about this now, okay? All right. I'm just gonna show you something, and then you guys tell me how you feel about it. All right. Everyone has their feelings, right? I'm not gonna tell you how I feel about it right now, right? Because I want you to see this. I had to refresh my main screen, but I want you to see this, okay? All right. I'm gonna ready? Ooh. Ooh.
I give you my blood. I give you my life. Turn, O wheel, and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk. Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon-to-depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
will flow for one, and one alone.
So my thing is, he didn't have time for Bloodborne 2. He doesn't want nobody else doing it, but he has time to make a Switch 2 exclusive. And I'm not mad at making a Switch 2 exclusive. That's fine. In fact, looking at that game, that's one of the reasons to get a Switch 2. And I'm cool with that. But it's the whole conversation of he didn't have time. So don't have time for Bloodborne. Won't let nobody else produce Bloodborne for us. So we're in a holding pattern. But he found time to make games for Switch. I'm just saying. You know, it's unfortunate Bluepoint wasn't allowed to make a Bloodborne remake because I think it would have been fantastic. I think they would have done a fantastic job. You know, I think, I mean, I don't know why there's this. I personally don't understand the politic, right? Because it is PlayStation's game. Miyazaki made it and he moved on. He has other ventures that he's doing. I don't know why he's still worried about Bloodborne. He may not have time to ever deal with it. So I guess we're never gonna get a Bloodborne remake because when is he gonna have time to do it? And supposedly in the article, he wants it to be ported to PC. He wants Bloodborne if he does the remaster, the remake, a PC version. I mean, at this point, if I was Sony, I'd be like, listen, well, they already closed down Blue Point, so I mean, it's moot to have the conversation. But I would have fought hard to be like, listen, we're going to do this Bloodborne remake. We have a studio, they have incredible talent, and I will tell you, the days of porting to PC is over for us, so we're not doing that. And you clearly have a lot of projects. You're making exclusives for Nintendo, and you said yourself you don't have time for us to make games exclusive for us anymore. We're just gonna have to push through because this is what's best for our studio, and our fans are really asking for this. This is like one of their biggest requests out of any remake the fan base wants or we ever did. This was the number one requested, and we're not gonna deny our customers. We gotta have customer satisfaction. We're gonna bring value to our customers, so we're making a Bloodborne remake. I don't know how that's gonna sour the relationship with Yaki, but he makes multi-plats anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. But I think we're losing out. I think we lost out big over this. Because this could have saved Bluepoint. That's how I see it. If Bluepoint was approved and authorized to make a Bloodborne remake, because Sony said, yeah, will be successful, we would have Bluepoint alive and well today. They would have recovered from the failure of trying to do a live service game, which they should have never attempted to do in the first place. But at least this game would have kept the studio open. So now we would still have Bluepoint, and we would have had a Bloodborne remake in progress. And they probably would have gotten it out in 3 years. So if they started in 2025, it probably would have been out by 2028. Which is not bad considering the issue they went through. But nope. Instead, we, as PlayStation gamers, we don't get a Bloodborne remake, and Bluepoint closes down, so we're not going to see games from them. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I waited to give you a perspective. And Nintendo gets an exclusive From Software game. So Nintendo gets an exclusive From Software game, which I'm not mad at, but he pretty much blocked the last remaining lifeline Bluepoint needed. Bluepoint needed that lifeline, and it would have been fine. If they would have been greenlit to make a Bloodborne, they would have survived. Because they would have been making that game. And that game would have absolutely been successful. And it would have not been on PC. Just like Demon Souls remake. I'm just saying. I'm just absolutely saying, you know. But yeah, you know. One more thing. Let's continue. We have to continue. To celebrate. Ooh, shoulder, right, left, right, turn around, walk it through, walk it out. Do the thing with the hands. And then we're gonna spin around. And then we're gonna do electric boogaloo. Point to the air, point to the ground. And then we're gonna turn around. And then we're gonna do robot, robot, robot. And then we're gonna do shake the shoulders and glide. Praying mantis. Fizzy hands. Diamond girl. Yo, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for rocking out with the Friday Night Live. And middle finger to the PC cooks. We don't care. Enjoy your weekend. Your only friend is YouTube Streets. Puertorock77. Diamond girl. I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for rocking out. And if you're new to the channel, hit the like button and subscribe. I will see you guys Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 60 frames, no lag. Hey, I'm about to play some Clair Obscur, and I'm out of here. Peace.